What we do here is go back.
I am General Bane of the Western Empire's Imperial Military. Hey everyone, I wanted to start off this video by doing something that the members of the Commandos haven't done in a while. I know this video took a long time to make, and it boils down to a few different things. Firstly, the last piece of information that I have in this video, I only found out like 2 months ago. I felt like more and more I held off this video, the more information was coming out. As well as that, this isn't a keeping up with the Kardashians situation. I just want to make a one and done, one documentary, one video. Then after that, I can go on and do other things. I felt like I had some level of responsibility to cover this because I have such an online presence within both the GTA and Red Dead communities. If we start letting people within these communities get away with shit like this, the more it's just going to keep continuing. For months I've been wondering what the best approach for this would you stop what are you doing? For months I've been wondering like what the best approach for this would be, and I feel like the best way to present this in the same way it was presented to me, that's how I'm going to present this documentary. I've never done something like this before. It's new for me, and I'm going to give it a shot anyway. So, hey, get off the wire. Off. This is going to be a very long video, and I'll timestamp like all the different chapters and stuff going forward. But please be warned that for those who haven't heard of the Commandos and of Western Empire, be careful going into this because there are some things that are going to be covered that are very disgusting. And I just would like everyone who's watching this to be semi-prepared at least. So without further ado, I think the best way to start this documentary is to start at where all of this trouble began, with the first video I ever made covering Western Empire. So let's start with that one.
There is a cancer in the community. A child who needs to be taught a lesson.
Today we're going to be talking about a milsim called Western Empire. So before we proceed, I just want to make it abundantly clear. When I was working on this video, I had no idea of like half the shit that went on with Western Empire. This initial video was literally just me scratching the surface and just slowly learning just little pieces. And at the time, I didn't really think it was like anything overly big. I just thought this was a crew or a group of old grown-ass men that were just barking orders at children on Red Dead Online. And then as I kind of learned more about Western Empire, as I slowly sunk down into the rabbit hole, I just learned it was just a bunch of old dudes on Red Dead Online barking orders at children. But it's so much worse than what I initially perceived it to be. But this first video that I made kind of sparked up the Red Dead community again, because they realized that someone was covering this group that wasn't just a child. Western Empire has a thing where they'll argue and fight with kids because they can. They're adults. They know they're going to win. But as soon as an adult got involved and had a look at the shit they were doing, they immediately pulled out. Like, it was wild. I'm just going to let this play, and I'm going to butt in from time to time with maybe small comments throughout this documentary. But let's continue. Now, Western Empire are, like, you know, somewhat known. They aren't like the biggest, most well-known milsim on Red Dead Online, even though they try to claim to be. But, you know, they might want to get in line for a few other well-known clans on there. So I've just been like looking up some of their like medias and stuff, and I've only recently noticed that they've actually made a post on here under Instagram, and it says here, the Western Empire has returned. After a lengthy hiatus, its 6th generation, I'll be talking about its generations later in this video, the Western Empire is returning to Red Dead Redemption Online. Once again, the Western Empire will bring order to the chaos and turmoil of the community, a pillar of the stability and efficiency afforded by the loyalty, discipline, and conduct which refines the Western Empire, blah blah blah. Now, it wasn't until when I clicked on this, I noticed one of the recent comments. After rape, pedophile allegations, 3 recycled clans, Western Empire is back again with its same recycled members from a clan merge. Oh god. Oh my. We're getting into some rough areas. Yeah. That's this video. That's what the fuck is this? Now, you're probably wondering, who the fuck are Western Empire? You haven't heard of them. Obviously, it's why you're on this video, or unless you have heard of them somehow. But don't worry, we're going to go into it. We're going to go into it. Western Empire. Oh, great. Oh, lovely. The Western Empire is a military-based clan on Red Dead Redemption Online. The Western Empire has great ambition and aims. We aim to not only be a superpower within the community, but also a clan respected and idolized by all who know of us. With the strong leadership the clan enjoys, it is only a matter of time before the name of the Western Empire is synonymous and that of legend. Western Empire motto. I'm not even going to pronounce that. I'm going to presume it's Latin. Let's translate it. Let's see. The gate of heaven opens to save the embryo? Like the egg in a woman's womb? Okay. You do you, buddy. They also have a website. So, you know, your good old generic Weebly website. Or is it Weebly? It is Weebly. It was just, you know, more the same shit of just talking about how great they are, how amazing of a milsim, why you should join. Then when you go down to... So let's actually have a look at their officers. I'm actually curious. You may notice something, right? All of their names, and these are all their gamer tags, start with Commando. Commando Bane. Commando Brink. Commando Eagle. Commando Twist. Commando Hawk. Now, why is that? Is that like a trend? Is that like, you know, something that they do for their high-ranking officers? No. So the Commandos are just a small group of friends, and you find out later on if you've talked to them, which I've had the unpleasantry of talking to them. Commando Bane in particular, who's a complete narcissistic prick. When you talk to them and you realize how they operate, they've all actually have come from Halo. They're all from Halo clans. So just to elaborate on what I said about meeting the Commandos in Western Empire prior. In February of 2020, Sons of War had taken a slight setback. So during this time, I was kind of looking around and seeing what other groups were on Red Dead. I was looking through the looking for group posts on Red Dead Online, and there was like 10 plus of the exact same copied and pasted Western Empire recruitment post by like different accounts. And I thought, okay, this must be like a semi-decent, serious group. I checked out like their YouTube channel and their content, and I realized they had some videos that were like Halo related. So when I actually got to meet and talk with some of them, I understood immediately how they were operating. When I was younger back on the Xbox 360, I actually used to be in a couple of Halo Reach clans. Immediately when I encountered Western Empire, I was like, oh, this is like a copy and paste of how all of those clans operated. I only ever had one brief interaction with Commando Bane. So basically at the time we were working on that little tombstone video, like that first Xbox Sons of War militia video for Red Dead Online. I think it might have been Commando Brink, I can't remember which one, but it was one of the commandos I was talking with, and I told them the crack and told them what I was doing, and that maybe I could collaborate in a way with Western Empire. I got in a party with Bane, and it basically went something like this.
We don't need your machinima content, we're doing just fine.
Poor choice of words on his behalf. So yeah, I basically told him to fuck off, and I went my own way. So then years later, I looked back in to see how Western Empire was, and this is the video I ended up making. Nothing comes close to Halo milsims. And this is the same format that they're doing here with Western Empire. They've all come from Halo, and I've started this thing on Red Dead Redemption 2. And when we say 6th generation, like if this is another fucking series of Star Trek, what they're really saying is we've fucked up 6 times and now we are restarting Western Empire. So in this most recent post on Instagram, they clearly have had a hiatus of their 6th generation, which means now they're going to go on to their 7th generation of Western Empire. If we go into enlistment, you'll realize that they are also targeting themselves towards children. For their form here that you have to fill out, you realize here in the age section, oh boy, okay, right. It's just so strange that they're like targeting themselves to such a young audience. In the word of John Cleese, enough of this gay banter. Let's see what Western Empire is all about. Let's actually look at a couple of their videos and kind of make out for ourselves who they really are.
The Western Empire.
The Western Empire.
The Western Empire.
The Western Empire.
The Western Empire clan on...
A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of a sheep.
Red Dead Online's most famous milsim. 677 views. All their videos have the comments turned off. We're at a great stage with that one, aren't we? Oh god. So let's look at this one where it's the topic of L-Hoods 4. If you've been in the Red Dead Online community, you may have come across this person. So L-Hoods 4 is literally just a little kid who's a crew hopper, or he just starts a brand new crew every couple of weeks. Ah yes, renderforest.com. I love this. Please make more of them. Please don't stop using that.
Welcome to another episode of Western Empire News. Today's topic is all about an ex-NCO who decided they had the power to split from our great empire and start a clan that would overtake us. After several lies about alliances with the White Brotherhood and a member count of over 50, both claims of which were summarily disproven, the surprise attack was launched against us on the 29th of May. L-Hud's forces joined the game, greatly outnumbering us, and engaged without warning. However, as you can see, under the guidance of General Bane, we swiftly reorganized and launched our counterattack. In the photo you can see now, L-Huds, instead of facing justice, ran to a mission to hide, relying on its invincibility to keep him safe from our forces. Let this be an example to any groups thinking of challenging us. Deserters, rebels, none shall stand in the way of our great empire's progress.
Please keep in mind L-Hoods 4 is only a kid. They have a second video on L-Hoods 4. Let's find that. Yeah, here we go. Final message.
There is a cancer in the community. A child who needs to be taught a lesson. No matter how many times L-Huds is beaten and broken, how many times his men desert him and leave him, he seems to always come out of the sewer where we found him. Well, this is the final message to L-Huds. There's no playing around anymore. It is time for you to go. This is my promise to you. The Western Empire will continue to fight and destroy you and whatever you build, until the day you leave the community and uninstall the game. You will be gotten rid of.
He felt so full of himself there, didn't he? I'm pretty sure that was Bane talking as well. Oh my god. So while I was in the middle of editing this video, Jackalman from Sons of Iran MC actually points out that at the end of one of these videos on LHUD's 4, Western Empire actually posts a picture of the kid for a split frame at the end of one of their videos, which I just find to be entirely disgusting. The fact is, you're adults posting a picture of a kid in your video just to get back at him is just inexcusable. Let's just watch this one first of the Western Empire news.
Hello, I am General Bane. I am the Supreme Commander of the Western Empire's Imperial Military. I am addressing you today from the Imperial Staff Headquarters in Saint Denis. Over the last months, and especially culminating in the last few weeks, the state of the Red Dead Online community is in turmoil. Many old enemies and allies are gone. To many, it seems that the Western Empire is one of the last old guard that remain. Often, many a war has been ended through words, and not through fighting. Many a time, swords have been put aside, and a simple handshake has sufficed in bringing two armies together. We continue on our mission to work with those who wish to work with us. One such group that we will always hold in high esteem is of course Charon Industries. A group that we have had many run-ins and fought together on many a battlefield. We still consider them a good friend.
Western Empire gagging on Charon Industry cock, of course.
And I know that as the coming weeks and months of this community go on, that friendship will hold the pinnacles and pillars of this community together. I'd like to directly address...
Sorry there, man. Sorry. I had to go make a coffee. I know how fucking long this video is gonna be, so... And how fucking dumb it's gonna be. But yeah, you get kind of the gist of most of the things with Western Empire. But there's one thing that I cannot forgive Western Empire for, and it grinds my fucking gears when I think about it. Which one is it? Red Dead Online's most famous milsim. They will state, the Western Empire founded on Red Dead Redemption 1 in 2011. You did, yeah? No fucking way. Oh, I fucking hate when I see this. This is fucking bullshit, and I can prove it. Okay, so they've changed this on a bunch of videos. You know, the video is hyping the 10 years of Western Empire history as part of the Red Dead Redemption series. They've even gone ahead and changed, like, some of the old descriptions of their videos, because I've remembered them specifically saying that, like, they started in RDR2. Okay, but they've gone ahead and they've tried to rewrite the whole thing and think people wouldn't notice. Even here it says, the Western Empire was founded on Red Dead 1 in 2011. It is now the most famous milsim on Red Dead Online. Oh yeah, it's the most famous. Yeah, okay, cool. And you remember at the start of this, I specifically said that these are all Halo rejects. These are all Halo milsim wannabes. So after Western Empire collapsed numerous times, I think it's after the 5th generation, they made one video because the channel for a short period of time was totally rebranded from Western Empire to the Commandos. God, it's not like I've never rebranded the channel entirely to suit a particular game. God, no, I'd never do that. The Commandos were founded on the 1st of January 2013. Okay. Red Dead 1 came out in 2010. There's been over 80 Commandos and many more supporters. From expanding in the Halo community to conquering Red Dead Online, the Commandos are well known. The most recent Commando project has been the trailblazing RDR clan, the Western Empire. The most recent project. So what they're stating is that the Commandos came out first in 2013, and now they've done Western Empire. After 3 years, the Western Empire came to a close. This video came out on the 20th of May 2021. So the most recent project being Western Empire, which in this case formed 3 years ago. And if that means that this video came out in 2021, that means Western Empire started in 2018, when Red Dead Online first started. You're so full of shit. We are proud of every one of you. Good luck for your futures. General C. Bane, Lion of the West. What a gay title. That's that's Western Empire. You know, let's just be real, right? None of their videos are outstanding. It's just a constant music video over and over. I mean, you got some good shots. You've gotten some children to do your background work. You know, you're doing well, but you're just, ignorance is bliss. That's the best way to describe Western Empire. I can't wait to be called the cancer of the community in Western Empire's next video. I hope they do make a video responding to this. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. I didn't get the video that I wanted, but this got the hamster wheel rolling. And the Commandos were really, really fucking pissed.
That. Jesus Christ! Fuck! Embarrass yourself like that in front of all those goddamn people! Fucking bullshit! You're sitting there like a fucking baboon! That's it! That's fucking it! That's fucking it!
So my video might have upset Commando Bane just a little bit, but that wasn't even the weirdest of everything that happened. To start off, Western Empire decided to gut their YouTube channel by literally setting all of their videos to private or unlisted. And not only that, they've also deleted the website. So any piece of evidence or information that these guys had out on social media, or at least on YouTube, was just gone. It was just deleted. The Western Empire Instagram account was still normal, and I thought, alright, big win my way. But then that's when I started getting messages. Now, nothing was said directly to me from like any official Western Empire account, but I had then started receiving messages from people on Discord. So people were hopping into the Sons of War Gaming Discord server and just either DMing me straight away or sending messages into the chat. And just sending just weird stuff that I thought at first, like, you know, you should be really careful of these guys, or, you know, they're bad business and blah, 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 whatever. If I can find this one screenshot of, is it this one? I'll quote this one message that I got from someone called Dynamo, where they straight up said that the major known as Commando Slate thinks I'm a problem. Okay. The Western Empire and he wants you gone. He's trying to get information from your server, your Xbox, PS4 usernames, first name, last name, and your IP address and location. I've got more shit to show you on my phone, but my phone is dead. That account that I'm using is my second. Okay, cool. At first it was just a little bit odd. Then someone also DM'd me a screenshot of Commando Bane's like DMs to this one girl called Circle that was allegedly 15. At the time, this was the only screenshot I had seen and had seen for quite a while. It painted more of a darker picture of what this group was. Just the fact that they're trying to get like information on me, allegedly, I just found it to be childish. So I didn't really think much of it. I also shared that screenshot on like my story on Instagram, and I had a couple of responses from people claiming like the ages between Circle and Commando Bane, and apparently it's like was something crazy, like she was only 15 and he was like 25, 26. Then eventually some people started reaching out to me and talking to me about people like Commando Hex, which is someone I'll get into later in this. A friend of mine called Jackalman from Sons of Iran had saved some of the videos and he sent them my way. And even I actually went and checked like a couple of them. And there was one that I noticed. I thought it was the previous video of Bane in front of his table just yapping away. But it was a different video with him standing in the same place. And he was actually talking about one of the people that eventually DM'd me called Cruel Surge. And in the video, they actually say, "Oh, we have your real names, but we're not going to reveal it."
Hello. My name is General Commando Bane, the Supreme Commander of the Western Empire's Imperial Military. I am speaking to you all today for one very simple purpose. A few weeks ago, the Western Empire's 5th generation started, a rise up again that many of the community wanted and many of the community feared. We immediately started growing and training, and immediately started regaining our position within the community. Our alliance with Charon grew stronger. However, we started back and were immediately attacked by a group that we sadly know all too well. A group that the community will know as Cruel. However, what the community won't know is that we know this group all too well. It is made up of our ex-members. Now, people may know this group for a rumour that they tried to spread. Lies about the upper leadership of this clan and lies about me personally. They tried to put tests against the friendships we have, and sadly there are friendships that will now no longer be able to happen because of the lies they spread. Yet, when asked by friend and foe alike to produce a single shred of evidence, there was none. I am now here today to tell you what they're trying to protect. First is Cruel Surge. I could give you his real name as well, but I think for now we'll leave it out. Cruel Surge, or Crankshaft as he was known to our men, was a arrogant, loud, angry individual whose only quality was he claimed to be loyal to those around him. He claimed to be better than those around him, to know better, to have a moral compass. Yet, this 19-year-old Irish farmer has started a relationship with a 14-year-old girl.
Now, who does that remind me of? Sorry, I'll leave it for the end.
Funnily enough, the same 14-year-old girl they tried to make lies about me with.
What the fuck even is this? This isn't even a screenshot. It's just text. You just put this on a screen. This isn't evidence. You're just gonna blatantly go out and call someone else a p***o while you're also being accused of being a p***o with evidence against you, and you're not even gonna share evidence against the other person you're calling a p***o.
It's almost as if they were trying to get people to look away from what they were doing so they could get away with it more. Well, Cruel Surge, you know we have the evidence. And you know who we're talking with. You know who we're giving that evidence to. If I was you, Red Dead would be the least of my issues right now. Let alone the pedophiles running that group. Many groups who have fought with them claim to be against pedophiles. Liars.
Did this chap really just try to threaten that he was going to send evidence? Evidence.
You know who we're giving that evidence to.
To the Garda Síochána. Are you fucking real? Now you're probably thinking that's a weird conclusion to come to, but trust me, later on in this documentary you'll realise why I've made that conclusion. I know your police force is fucking awful, but we're not too far behind. As you could probably imagine, these type of videos that were being made, it can't come across as if they're like covering up as like, oh, we're not the p***os, they're the p***os. I then received screenshots and some information from an account that claimed that they had an officer called Commando Hex, and Commando Hex had been arrested. I'll say afterwards why he got arrested, because I made a second video on Western Empire and covered all the information, or at least what I had received at the time. We'll break it down and talk more about it after. I've wanted to make a part 2 on Western Empire for a while. Since my first video, like when I did that one, it was just It was kind of goofy. It was funny. When I saw stuff like people calling Western Empire pedos and things like that, I just thought most of it was online trolling. But since I made that video, I had people sending me evidence and screenshots and just coming forward, like ex-members of Western Empire, and just telling me different things. And I just didn't know at first what to believe. I thought it might have been like people just jumping on Western Empire because they were ex-members and they had a grudge against them. I know that kind of attitude from my own experience. So I was very hesitant for the longest time to make a second video because I just didn't know what to believe. Now, on New Year's Eve, Western Empire broke radio silence and basically confirmed practically all the rumors that were going around. Because I started reading down through it, and then I was comparing the actual evidence, and just some things don't necessarily line up, or they're forcefully distancing themselves from that situation, and it's just really disturbing. So I'm going to go over the post that they made, and then I'm going to go over the evidence of the situations at hand. So let me pull this up. Western Empire, official statement, the 31st of the 12th, 2023. This statement is intended to address and dispel rumors about the Western Empire that have recently found themselves circulating social media yet again. The yet again is quite interesting, because to me, they clearly have known that these rumors have been going around for quite a long time. Maybe they were from a year or 2 years ago. They kind of died down and now they're kind of popping up again. Because again, they've tried to brush a lot of this under the rug and pretend it's never happened. But I think since my video, a lot more people have come out and started saying things. So they've just been kind of backed into a corner and had to address it. There are 3 rumors circulating that Western Empire wishes to address in this statement. The allegations surrounding Commando Bane and Circle, Commando Hex's crime, a member supposedly being charged for beating their wife. Now that third one I wasn't familiar with. Commando Bane and Circle. Commando Bane was the general and supreme commander of Western Empire from its 4th to 6th generation. While serving as the supreme commander, Commando Bane exchanged private messages with an ex-member known as Circle. Both parties were of the age of consent and consensually exchanged messages with each other. This matter, however, became public, leading to people both within and without the clans questioning morality. Even if legality was not a concern, that's a very odd sentence, I'm going to get back to that one. Eventually, Commando Bane was asked to step down from the position by the current general, Command Sabre. Oh, there's a spelling mistake. Who then led the clan for the next month and a half until the closing of 6th generation. The 7th generation of Western Empire has been solely led by Commando Sabre, with Commando Bane being entirely uninvolved with the clan. Despite this, Commando Sabre has been described as a spineless frontman by conspiracy theorists. Who the fuck wants to make conspiracies about your shitty fucking clan? If there is any evidence of such puppetry, the Western Empire urges the community to come out with it, otherwise this will be the last word. Alright, I have evidence, don't you worry. I guess we're going to cover this one together. Basically what has happened is there was private or sexual messages swapped between Commando Bane and a member called Circle. And from what I've gathered, it seems that there is at least a 10-year gap between Commando Bane and Circle. Commando Bane being around 25, 26, Circle being 15, 16. One person even shared me her current gamer tag. She had to make a new account. I'm not going to show the gamer tag, but I did reach out to it and I didn't get a response. I'm guessing whoever the person in question just wants nothing to do with Western Empire or any of that previous shit. And even now, thinking back to it, when we looked at the first video on their website, they are clearly targeting themselves towards children. Just that alone is an obvious backfire. It's just weird if you're just going to be going off with people that you're recruiting around that age group and then bring them in and being flirtatious with them. This is a single screenshot from what could have been a very long conversation. But regardless of that, it still comes down that the person in question is a minor. And from some of the ex-members, they have confirmed that this person was a minor. And it's just fucking disturbing. As I said earlier here, like they've said, even if legality was not a concern, what the fuck is even that sentence? It's like saying, oh, well, even if she was underage, he's not here now. No, you still are running a clan that has had such a bad reputation being thrown on it. And this isn't even the first one, right? There's another whole story I need to get into, and it's really disturbing. What a fucking dirty old nonce. I know how fucking low Red Dead Online's community is, but this is just a whole other level of just degeneracy. But the next one that I'm going to show you it's far worse. The next one, I just want anyone watching this right now, just prepare yourself, because this one's a bit heavy. This one's really bad. So the next story we're going to go into is what they've brought up here, is Commando Hex. Commando Hex has been called by conspiracy theorists, God, they really love those two words, don't they, as the second in command of the Western Empire. Those who remember him or that time will know this to simply be untrue. Commando Hex was a junior officer during his time with Western Empire and one of the newest Commandos. Keep that in mind. This information does not at all change the situation, but serves as evidence to the carelessness of those peddling these rumors, or the carelessness of those who fucking recruited him. Commando Hex had quite a good reputation until one day he went silent. Nobody had heard from him until it was discovered by the Commandos that he had been arrested for a heinous crime. I love how they completely ignore what the crime was, which I will get into. Unlike what is said by the community, the Western Empire did not cover up this fact, they did, but instead made it known they did not. In fact, Western Empire publicized so as to condemn it. They absolutely did fucking not. To this day, Western Empire does not hide, they do, nor condone the actions of Commando Hex. Western Empire is in agreement with the community that we are all safer with him being incarcerated for well over a decade to come. Just a little insert here. I want to make it clear that I don't think clans on games have to completely publicize every little mistake that they make. That's not really my issue here. My issue is that these mistakes have been repeated multiple times and they've done nothing to improve themselves. They've just hid these mistakes under the rug and then bring them up when they've become public. They don't seem to really take accountability for their actions, and they just consistently point fingers at everyone that they can so that they can deflect any sort of responsibility. Before I go into the actual crime itself, yes, they did absolutely cover this up for the longest time. This is the worst scenario possible. To have one of your highest officers just arrested, and for the crime in question, it's bad. I'll show you the evidence, but to summarize it, Commando Hex was arrested for 2 accounts of rape on July 15th of 2021. And here's the South Wales police report. A man has received a 15-year extended prison sentence for raping a woman in Butt Park, Cardiff. Tyler Higgins, 20, admitted 2 counts of rape committed during the early hours of July 15th, 2021. It's bad. I don't want to look through all these police reports again, but it's really bad. It just seems so sickening. They've worded this to try and kind of keep themselves, again, at distance from this entire situation. When in fact, I decided to do some digging on my own. The oldest picture or any form of evidence I could find that associates Commando Hex with Western Empire is here, this one image on Commando Hex's Instagram account, which is on October 12th of 2020. This guy had been in Western Empire for nearly a year, probably longer than this picture, and it just seems like disgusting that they're purposely saying, yeah, we didn't really know the guy, he was our newest officer. And the next thing I want to also mention in their statement is nobody had heard from him until it was discovered by the Commandos that he had been arrested for a heinous crime. How the fuck did the Commandos know about this? Like, there's people that I play with now, like say in the Appalachian Enclave, and I only know them by their gamertag. So what I'm saying here is Western Empire clearly had this guy in their inner circle. They knew him more than they would have with most of their members. Like, again, I understand that over Xbox, this is kind of like our Xbox persona can be different to our real life persona. It's just weird that these people knew who he was. They knew what he looked like. They knew his full name. And what I'm imagining the scenario that probably played out is that someone at the Commandos found out about this, the group chat heard about this, someone probably had a falling out with the officers, and then left and just told everyone about it. Because there's no way, for the longest time, this is why I really wanted to hold off this, because people were telling me that this guy was Commando Hex, but I had no way of 100% confirming it. But now I do. And it just seems clear that it's come from an inside source at Western Empire who knew the guy personally, and it just got shared around like an absolute forest fire. And they've been trying to put out the flames as quick as possible. And it's just gotten out of control, so they had to admit to what the whole thing is, but still wording it in a way to keep their distance from the problem itself. The problem is you knew the guy like fairly well if you knew what he looked like and his name, and you kept him as an officer. Even if he was like a newest officer, you still promoted him. You knew him for at least a year, if not more. You put him in a position of power where he was basically running a group with children. You literally had a rapist as your officer. It's fucking disgusting. Western Empire claim that they didn't hide any of this. They came forth and they said it. But they just didn't. I looked over all their old Instagram like posts. They've deleted a ton of Instagram posts. There was just nothing there that mentioned any of this. I looked at their YouTube channel. So here's the funny thing about their YouTube channel. If you search up Western Empire Red Dead Redemption 2 like right now, the first thing that's going to pop up is the video I made. And when you actually click on their YouTube channel, the channel's just gutted. It's gone. It's dead. They've deleted everything. Everything has just been removed from this. The only thing that's left is the bio, the about section, and a link to their website. And the website is down. The website got deleted. So I had to actually go back over the video I had made and try find like the video titles roughly around that time when this had occurred. And not once is there a video on their YouTube channel before they gutted it that mentioned anything about the Commando Hex situation. So for them to simply sit here and say, yeah, in fact, we did publicize about it to condone it. No, they didn't. They've tried to brush it under the rug as much as possible. It's literally fucking sick. Now, the last one here, they talk about the imaginary wife beater. I don't want to go over this one because I don't know too much about it, but from what I'm gathering, it was a boyfriend-girlfriend argument, and the boyfriend hit the girlfriend, and this was before the guy had joined Western Empire. It was just, whatever fucking bullshit. But they tried to go over and say no one was charged for wife beating or whatever. It's just, it's stupid. The last thing here I'm going to bring up is the closing message. So, the Western Empire seeks to serve as a beacon to those who wish to enjoy the clan community of Red Dead Online and will continue to do so. It has made many highs and many lows, but it will not let the passion of its members be ruined by rumors. Western Empire has come to terms with its past and has firmly confronted issues raised openly, and honestly, those who wish to learn more or seek to challenge Western Empire on any topic are encouraged to contact Commando Sabre on Xbox or Commando Sabre on Discord. Any issues or questions will be addressed by him. Long live the Empire, long live the Emperor. General C. Sabre. So this next bit up here, I briefly start talking about how Western Empire keep making these declaration of war posts on their Instagram account. Vespasian Kingdom, which is one of them, actually got us into a session with Western Empire, and how the scenario played out was there was only like 6 of them and maybe 6 of us, I can't remember. It was pretty even at first, and then Western Empire had to flood the lobby just to start killing us, so it ended up being like a 22v6.
What you're seeing is advanced warfare.
And not once do they ever decide to post any of this on their Instagram, because I mean, it's me. It's kind of funny, like, you know, they'll post like them killing like Iron Company or Vespasian Kingdom, but when it came to Sons of War Militia, and it's like there's only 6 of us, 22 of them, and they're still not going to post anything, I think that's a win. I think that's, I've put the fear of God into Western Empire at that point. We were fighting them, everything was fine, and they decided that they had to flood the lobby, and we were just looking at the gamer tags and everything. I swear one of them was called like Minecraft. Putting the accusations to one side and all of that drama, as a clan, Western Empire is so bizarre to me, because it just seems as if they've given themselves this high authority that just isn't even there, or a reputation that they think they have, which they absolutely don't. The only people that seem to be applauding them are any little kids that they find to be part of their group that have no idea what's going on or have any notion of giving a shit. When I look at Western Empire brand themselves as this really good upper class, you know, clan on Red Dead Online, if Western Empire wants to kind of give this image that they really love Western Empire, why the fuck did they gut their own YouTube channel? Like, not every video was about Elhuds 4, not every video was about every bizarre thing that they've gone through. They've had some really good recruitment videos and really good shots with the limitations that Red Dead Online truly has. So I don't know why they just decided to delete everything. This seems like the type of clan that really just likes to run and hide and to rebrand themselves or come out of the shadows. It's why they have 7 fucking... They must have realistically like 10 or 12 different generations. Because even since we fought them, I've heard that they shut down quietly and then slowly rebuilt. It's another thing I want to bring up. Because you can drag 22 people into a lobby, that means fucking nothing if those numbers have 0 loyalty to the faction or clan that you are a part of. All you're looking for is numbers. Like, when we were fighting Western Empire, we were just having a laugh. Like, we didn't take that seriously. And Western Empire, still to this day, never uploaded it. Probably because being too embarrassed and knowing exactly who we were. Since Western Empire have deleted all their videos, deleted all of their old content, and even if they're planning on like rebranding or trying to give a better image, they've already soiled it so fucking far than any other clan I've ever come across. On Grand Theft Auto 5, on Red Dead 2, on Fallout 76, this has to be one of the lowest I've ever seen a clan go. So all I can really say is the best thing to do, and I've never suggested this for any clan. If you genuinely are removing people like Commando Bane, or you want to remove like Commando Hex, like the memory of all that, then you need to remove Western Empire. That just needs to go. The reputation is probably one of the worst currently I've ever seen in Red Dead Online. The best thing you can do is shut down and restart, and don't be recruiting fucking kids.
They're just kids.
That's the last thing you should be doing. At this point, I may have accidentally predicted exactly what Western Empire were going to do, or they just took my words as like one-to-one and did exactly what I said. But before we even discovered that, at the very end of the video, I had showcased that I had some of the videos that were sent to me by Jackalman. And I specifically said, reach out to me on Instagram and then we'll talk over Xbox and I'll give you back these videos that you deleted. How quickly do you think Commando Sabre got back to me after this video was uploaded? Go on, take a guess. 45 minutes after that video became public, Commando Sabre got in touch with me through Instagram. I've seen your recent video and your offer to discuss the topics brought up, which I am willing to have a discussion on. You have made some statements in your video that are incorrect, allegedly. So after this, I end up arranging an interview with Commando Sabre, and at the time I actually unlist the video that I had just uploaded. At the end of the day, I just wanted all the information and just put it into a single video and then just release it. The reason why I wanted to approach the Commandos is because I wanted their side of the story as well. I know what it's like to be accused of something and not even being questioned or asked about it, just immediately being assumed the worst, and yeah, it can be pretty fucking scummy. During the interview, looking back on it, there's a lot of things that he says which are very incorrect, or he's twisted words again to make the Commandos and Western Empire look, you know, less guilty than they really are. I've had to trim down the interview a bit because there's a lot of waffling and shit in it. And keep in mind, there's some things that I learned afterwards that I didn't know at the time when I was interviewing Sabre. So those are going to be things you'll see later on in this documentary as well. But without further ado, let me show you the interview that I had with Commando Sabre only a few days after that video that I had posted. Hello, Commando Sabre.
Good evening.
I've wanted to ask you a little bit about Western Empire. I just have some questions I just wanted to ask, and I was hoping maybe you'd be able to clarify certain things just so I can hear your side of some of the stories and things I've been told. Regardless of whatever answers or whatever I get, I was given a couple of the old videos by Western Empire that were archived by someone, so I'll be happy to share those with you and you can re-upload them and whatnot if you like.
We have them, and look, I'll start with this. So things like this have been coming up, a lot, but man, this is a 3-year-old topic. When I started 7th gen, which is the generation going on currently, I basically, the only involvement Bane had, I said, look, I want to continue because I've had good times in WA. This is from me. It is the name was his because he had the ownership at the time. He gave it to me and it was mine. That being said, I decided, look, I'm leading 7th gen. I would like the YouTube video. I want them archived because this is my generation. Henceforth, he archived videos for me. We have them. It was meant to be my generation. He has them, yes. I don't because he has a channel. I didn't really have intention to mess with the YouTube channel.
Right.
7th gen was mine. If I was going to rip one out, I would sort it myself.
So when was Western Empire actually first formed? Were you there when it formed, or?
So, if we're going for the start of Western Empire, you have realistically 2 starts. Western Empire existed on the old Red Dead under a different name. This was before my time. If you ask any of the members, basically Emperor MLG led his group on that. That's where the members older than me go. When it moved over to Red Dead Redemption 2, when the beta launched, it was decided that we're gonna rebrand the old idea. And so when you talk about the people there, which I was one of them at this time, the person who then become Sunset or Emperor Sunsets decided on the name Western Empire. Truthfully, we were doing an Empire, so it's Empire, and well, it's a Wild West game, Western.
Who was involved in the forming of Western Empire?
So from 1st gen, because that I can't tell you before 1st gen because I only was around for 1st. So I was there. You had Sunset who become the Empress. You had a Atlas, trying to remember his end, then Karma, but something else Karma, and essentially a few other names, non-commandos who came over from GTA or Halo.
What is the purpose of the Commando role in Western Empire? Because I've seen quite a few people with Commando over the time, so I'm just wondering how that works.
Commando is a separate group. The Commandos have done multiple different clans. It's never been a requirement to get anywhere. It's a separate thing to West Empire. You don't have to be a Commando to go to the top. My second in command right now is not a Commando. My third in command is not a Commando. It's never been a requirement, but it's our separate group, which...
Okay, so Commando's kind of like... I wouldn't even say its own separate clan. It's more like a friends group.
It's more like a friends group in WA.
What are actually the requirements then to become a Commando? Do you just have to like get to know someone for quite a while and then ask them to change their gamer tag, or how does that work?
Go on to the Commando part. Realistically, it's one of the ones of you have to be requested to join. We're not here to take anybody. You've got to be, first off, you've got to be over 18. Next off, you have to essentially be requested from somebody. And so let's say, for example, there's somebody I got on well with, hit the requirements, a decent person. I could then say, would you like to join? If they wish to, it's fine. If they don't, it's not. And that's how you'd get in. Then obviously you'll change the gamer tag from there.
Could you explain to me then, what is exactly the generations are for Western Empire? Like, is it due to a change in leadership or other reasons?
Generations essentially define when the clan's been up between breaks. So let's say first generation starts, ends. When it came back up, that's the second generation. There may be a restructuring, there may be not. Sometimes it's a different leader, sometimes it's not. It's generations mark more coming back after a break.
Back onto Western Empire, I'm wondering, right, who has ownership of the YouTube channel, the website, and the Instagram account?
The website is abandoned, realistically. I don't think we've used that since 6. I think we should delete the email it was linked to. The website comes from older days, and it's just a thing which doesn't work anymore. I have access to the Instagrams. When I took over 7th Gen, I requested them.
Okay.
But I didn't want the YouTube channel. That's why I asked for the videos archived, as I mentioned.
Did the videos get deleted from the YouTube channel, or has everything been set to private or something?
Private. I simply, instead of deleting history, because I don't like to delete history, we put it on private, so if I ever wish to start my new videos, I could have.
So you don't have access to a YouTube channel. Is it Commando Bane who has access to that?
He was the last person with access, so he probably has it, yeah.
Could you tell me a bit then about the current recruitment process into Western Empire? Has there been any changes towards recruiting now than there was maybe beforehand?
Recruiting, I mean, different clans recruit different ways. We've never really used LFGs. Simply put, you go into the game, you send out a message, and if people respond who want to join, you did come along to a boot camp.
Has the age requirement been increased, or
14.
has that been touched? 14 is the age limit.
14.
So from what I've been told, and from what I've gathered, it's pretty public information that Bane was having personal relations with a 16-year-old member of your clan called Circle. At least according to ex-members, he was 10 years older than her. When and how was the screenshot discovered of the conversation that they were having on the 5th of March of 2021?
First off, I need to challenge the 10 years old thing. 10 years old would put him at 26 at the time. So what, 2020 you say? So what, 3 years ago they claimed he was 26?
Allegedly, yes.
Because the screenshots have shown they could have 25, 26. I'm not going to go give his exact age. I'll tell you now, he was not 26.
Okay. And do you know then how old Circle was?
I know how old he and she were at the time. She was 16.
Okay. But he was definitely not 10 years older.
He was not 10 years older, no.
So looking back on this interview, I kind of wish I doubled down on some of my questions. However, we do have some little bit of evidence that could suggest how old Commando Bane actually was. I've learned a little bit more information, and we could do a little bit of digging of our own. Do you remember how at the start of this we talked about how all the Commandos came from Halo? Well, I have some evidence here that could suggest how old Bane actually is. So my friend Jackalman actually found this post on a Halo clan community wiki. It's kind of like a fan wiki thing that clans get to post their lore and their clan battle lore and all that stuff. But there's one here specifically for Commando Bane. There's nothing on it. It just says pending, but it does say a couple of interesting things. It has his approximate community join date, which is estimated to be 2011. But this might not actually confirm the exact date when he started joining Halo clans. There's a couple of different aliases like Crazy Communist, Prefect Macro, Commando Macro, DGA Overlord, fucking Teen Moment, and then Commando Bane. And then it has a few of the clans here that he's led. Now, if we go back to the first video that I made on Western Empire, and we remember that around the time of 2021, they had converted or were converting the Western Empire YouTube channel to the Commandos channel, and it had like the thumbnail of the Halo Reach Spartan. It looked like that they were planning on moving back to Halo Reach. Somewhere along the lines that just didn't happen. This in no way, shape or form confirms Commando Bane's age. Part of me feels like he was probably around the ages of 11 and 12. And my reason for that is because in the Western Empire website where they talk about recruitment, they were targeting around that age. And why I think that's the case is because they've based so much of Western Empire off of what they learned from Halo clans. And I think they were little kids being bossed around by adults on Halo. They took that as, oh, that's how you're meant to run a clan. So when they started Western Empire, they used that information as like a baseline for how you run a clan. And they were recruiting the same way as they were doing on Halo. So with that logic, if he was 11 in 2011, he would have been 21 when all that shit was happening with Circle, and that is like the lowest age possible in my mind he could have been. There is a chance he probably was older. I can't give you an age officially of how old Commando Bane is. Even now, no one officially knows, and Sabre never says it in the interview. I think it's fairly easy enough to say he was either 21 or over when he was asking a 16-year-old for nudes. So when was it discovered then, of this whole thing? Like, how did that even leak?
1 second. I'm just pulling up the screenshot we're talking about. It's the one you sent to me, isn't it? Here you go. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same screenshot, aren't we?
Let me just have a look at it here now, actually.
Yep, that's what you sent to me, didn't you?
March 5th, 2021.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's the only screenshot I've seen.
Yeah. So, and look, it's something I'll get onto in a minute, but that screenshot basically came out when she went back to her partner Tam, whose also name I'm not going to reveal.
That's fine.
And I should point out the talk with Circle, because at the end of it, because I took her to BS, she wanted the end of the matter, which I'm happy to. I'm only going to call her by Circle for this because that is what the screenshot says, and that's what she's known as.
Yeah, I don't want to know her. Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
That's fine.
I'm only going to talk about things provided as was her wishes. The screenshot was basically she'd went back to her partner Time, and spoke about it to him, and that's where the screenshot comes from. It is a single screenshot of the conversation, which, despite people saying lasted a year, was about 2-3 weeks. The thing of one of the reasons Cam speaks out, and the reason I put that post out before is, while I'm giving an opinion, I'm also giving facts. But just because I'm giving a fact you don't like doesn't mean it's not facts. And I'm not saying you directly. I'm just stating. This is the whole point. Going back to the video which you put up before. One of the reasons I spoke to is one because you offered you offered and compared to the other people we've had, haven't bothered to ask, but also there was a lot of things I wanted to discuss because you've had information from one side, and I no means am I calling you a liar in any sense, but the information that came out was quite factually wrong, and I felt you've been respectful to want to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have this conversation now, so we can at least give side and give our point. I seen your old video. You were in such a different tone. It didn't feel you didn't speak to us then. It was such a different tone. I didn't want to go along that line. However, because how you came, how you approach it when you the serious tone and you have to speak, it was much more okay. Here's a person who's acting mature about it. Here's a person I believe. Here's something I have a conversation no matter.
Commando Sabre is doing his best to really butter me up throughout this entire interview. We're approaching you now because you're being mature about this. No, your clan's a fucking joke. It's always been a fucking joke. Since this interview, I've learned a lot more about Commando Sabre as a person. He is a proper fucking slime bag, as you'll find out later on in this documentary. No, you're not approaching me just because now I'm being mature about this. You're approaching me because you're fucking desperate to make sure all this information doesn't go out.
There are points I'd like to challenge with our side, if you get me.
This definitely being one of the more serious topics I've ever came across when it comes to any clan. I felt like the best thing to do is just make sure to get all information if possible before making any official judgments. So, as you've stated, Bane he has no connection with Western Empire anymore then?
No. He is not since I asked him to resign 6th Gen, and the single involvement was basically me asking for the name for 7th Gen.
Since I've made those videos, I've been approached by a handful of alt accounts. Some people have informed me that Bane still has connections in Western Empire. There's one message I just want to read out here, and I just want to hear your response to it. But someone had told me, again, these were just alt accounts that had 0 followers, 0 following. It looked like they were just brand new and people who didn't want their identities shared. Between us, Sabre is almost forced to lie for these people as he's in the Commandos, and the Commandos have an IRL aspect that Bane still runs Western Empire. Sabre will do anything Bane tells him to. They can never admit this, but it is absolutely true. People are very scared of Bane in the higher ranks of Western Empire. What would be your response to that?
Because we have the same name, it's the easy jab to make. It's probably coming from somebody who's had personal grudges with WE, tried to betray us before, been many of them, who's taken a cheap shot. I'd ask for evidence of a claim, in law. If we're going to push against somebody who would make a claim, but here's what I stand. No, I'm not scared of him. He has no connection to 7th Gen. I made 7th Gen myself, not with his overarching shadow. I mean, and then he goes on to say my senior officers are scared of them. No, I mean, if you wish to message them, whether they reply there and record or not, is their decision. But no.
I want to move on to the second allegation that was mentioned in your official statement, Commando Hex. Now, I don't want to go into the whole crime. I know I've seen it. But I just want to ask a couple of other questions. When did he first join Western Empire?
If I quickly check the date, I believe he was a member of 5th Gen.
And what year would that have been?
Again, apologies for my memory not being exactly. To be honest, I probably should have written down the date of every generation opening. It would have been roughly just about a year for his arrest, maybe less. He was. It would have been about 2019 late.
What's the ranking process in Western Empire? How did he go from private and then eventually becoming a commando?
First off, the commando and the ranking structure is separate. You don't get freebies for being a commando. To be honest, we probably expect you to work harder. Being a commando does not grant you the rank of officer. Not being commando doesn't bar you from it. This is for all generations. He joined as any average member would have joined.
Okay.
He would have worked his rank through, his own hard work and skill, the same as all of us have done. Becoming an officer in WE, it's not, you've got to do X amount of trainings, be here X amount of time. It's done on your performance. How well are you doing? How much effort are you putting in? If the shortest we've had is a week. Some people it can take multiple years. It depends.
A week for someone to become an officer.
We've had a single case, yeah, of where it can take a week. We've had where it can take multiple years. The week simply was fucking a guy transferring from his own thing.
Okay, so it was
judged on your merit.
Yeah, so it was like say for the MC community on GTA comparison, it would have been like a patch over or something from whatever organization he was part of joining you.
I'm not quite familiar with MC terms, but it sounds about right.
Mm. How long exactly was Hex a commando? When did he first get that tag or role?
Let me see if I've got the date somewhere. We're talking about something like 3 years ago, so he was probably around looking like 5 months from. I'm talking about. I mean, that for Hex's membership was terminated, when we found out. So 5 months he was a commando for.
When did you discover of the arrest, or in fact, who found out about it?
So, to be honest, are you wanting the story? Because you've got the two things on it here, and whichever way you want to go, I'll go. You either have the simple clan side of it, or how I saw it. Because something which I don't think people see him as the monster he is, but they don't. I don't think some people experience how scary it can be to know somebody who does that thing. I found out from one of his Instagram friends who messaged me and basically told me this and sent me the article, and that's how we found out. I'm not going to throw their name or
that's fine.
Screenshot, but
so they shared that with you directly.
Yes. Obviously they went through his friends on Instagram. It's hard to give a defined detail without telling you this in a way the story of him.
That's fine. You can tell me.
Look, I'll give you a brief down, and I'll start now by saying, in no way am I giving this to sympathise or justify his actions that night. I'll tell you now so you understand a situation better, maybe a bit more from somebody who knew him. He wasn't in the best position. The family he had really weren't the most supportive. He was confused. Okay. He was struggling, but he was an all right person when we knew him. Like, generally, you would not have seen it coming. He was socially quieter, but some people are. There's nothing wrong with that. When you come online, one of the benefits of being online is you can be a bit more how you want to be, and how he acted. He was fine. He was friendly. And then one night, there's no more contact. It happens in groups, but didn't respond in the group. Didn't respond to clan stuff. It was a bit weird from there's a bit of natural worry, and I get the essential message about what had happened, and sure enough, you look her up in the news. We found out. It's scary in a way sometimes to not know how somebody can do something when you thought you knew them.
Something of that extent I've ever personally have gone through, but I do understand the whole Xbox persona that we don't fully know someone behind the screen,
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely understand that.
But after that, there was I mean, it's even difficult to, but not in the sense of how, like, don't want to talk about it. It's the fact of some of the people, they were like, should we have noticed? Did we fail? In a way, should we have seen us come and done something for him? At the end of the day, he was a friend was at the time. It was a bit of a struggle in its own right there, I suppose. But I think the years on by, we wouldn't have seen it coming because we didn't know him enough, because we didn't have that real life connection. At the end of the day, we're still behind the screen. We're still miles away from each other. It was from there that it wasn't to be hidden. This is one of the things I saw in the video. He said it was covered up. It wasn't. There was a post, and I'll send you a screenshot of the internal post and the Instagram post.
Okay.
I'm happy to share them. This is not something we pushed away. We told the members we had to. There's a responsibility there that in some level of safeguard,
Was this a post that I had missed, or was it on like a different
there's
account?
a post on Instagram and there's an internal post. Let me just quickly get a version which shows you the date.
Would it have been on the Instagram then, or was it just something that was just shared
There's
solely in the
internal
Discord?
and there's one on the Instagram. I'm trying to find it. So here's the internal post, as you can see of this is the screenshot from the Instagram of the internal post. As you can see, Instagram loadouts. I've got the date for you there. Obviously, it was a screenshot of the post when it was sent today. So that's why it says today at 8:24. But as you can see at the top on Instagram.
What date did you guys actually find out about this then? Was it around this time when you made the post, around the 15th of December?
I believe it would have been around that time. So I'm pretty sure it was we were probably about 2-3 days before confirmed it, because obviously we're waiting for the media post. And with these cases, the issue is it doesn't go out to the media until the court. It's been through court. It's a very serious matter.
I think it was in October when I was looking through them myself.
Was it October they released it?
I think it was mid to late October. Yeah.
It's one of the Welsh papers, I believe. Had out first. I'm trying to find if we have a picture of the article we find, but I can't find it.
We understand what happened. It's not of like as you've just provided with me there. You've shown that you did post it.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not something we've.
So we'll move on from Commando Hex. There's been multiple allegations that have been shared with me. One of the messages I talked with you about earlier, but apparently officers and members in Western Empire have been threatening to dox or harass ex-members IRL as a way to keep them in line or control them. Has there been discussions of doxings as threats or any type of off-game consequences for members?
No. The one doxing event ever happened to one of ours. One of ours got doxed. We don't. Doxing isn't. It's not a weapon. It shouldn't be involved. I mean, I don't know if you've seen recently. I got doxed.
No, I didn't see that.
I asked. I don't know if you know the audio news feed.
RD. No, I don't follow that one actually.
So a picture of me. Some of the commands got doxed to him, and I spoke to him, asked him politely, this is doc, it's a form of harassment. I don't agree with it, especially not considering. First off, it's not right. Why are we taking things out of Red Dead? And it's a big issue with the Red Dead community. It became so toxic, and I mean, look, you get booting's one thing, but then the personal threats, no. I mean, it's one of the big turn-offs to Red Dead, truthfully. And one of the things, actually, I agree with you in your message you said in the video for it when you took down, is Red Dead's a dead game. We're all going to be playing GTA 6 when it comes out. We just got to live with what we've got till then because it was abandoned by Rockstar. And I guess in that burden, the worst of the communities, what stayed. But no, doxing is not something we've used. Again, if you mess my officers and they responded, they would say the thing, we're not going to dox somebody. VK Rid of War, VK, ask them. I've not doxed anyone in Iron Company. No intention to.
Well, I've actually had received from Ikez Saxon allegedly pictures of him and Ikez Psyche were shared amongst the members of Western Empire. I've heard that from 2 people. I don't think it was from the officers. I just heard it was from the members. It was just shared in like a Discord channel. I haven't seen these pictures. I don't want to see their pictures, but that's just what I heard.
If you want to look into it, I mean, I'm happy to look into it with them. I mean, this may be a topic we actually discussed. Those issues with that situation, which goes to the whole fact of why they split from us, involves doxing. But it's a matter I'm happy to discuss, but because he's a part of it, it's a conversation I'd want him involved in. I'm not going to go discuss a topic which involves me and him when he's not here.
All right, that's fine, because I heard an ex-Western Empire member who apparently had joined June of 2023. He asked me to keep his identity hidden, but he was having a conversation with Commando Twist, and this was only a few days ago, according to these Discord screenshots that I received. But it looked like from the conversation that Commando Twist had suggested that he would retaliate against someone attempting to dox him by doxing the person back. The person in question was only 16 years old. So you told me that Commando Twist isn't part of Western Empire anymore.
No. He wasn't part of the first gen. That's what I said when you asked who's part of the start.
Okay, so he's still part of Western Empire now.
Twist is, yeah, to clarify, Twist is, he wasn't one of the originals, is what I was saying.
Okay.
What I'd say to these screenshots is, can I see them? Because I've not seen them. This has not been raised to me.
The person in question asked me to keep their name hidden, because apparently...
Could I get a version where the name's been blurred out? Is there any way? Because, I mean, one of the issues I now have is I'd like to see the things being put against them.
I'd have to blur out the names myself.
Because what I'd say is I'd see them and then simply... Then I can investigate.
But while I guess we're on this topic, a lot of ex-members tend to bring up these claims. Like, is there... Like, I kind of understand it from your perspective, where I've had people in the past who have left Sons of War and then tried make false claims against me, but I've never seen it to something of this extent.
Again, WE goes back a very long history. In that time, we've had a lot of people betray, have their own ambitions, make their own groups. Some we've fought, some we've begrudgingly existed by, some we've actually got on fairly well with. But there are certain people out there who like to do whatever they can to go against it. I mean, I'd point out this is people use the thing against Hex, which you go against Hex, but how's that fair to a W member 3 years from then? How is that right to somebody who's had no involvement in that? And they'll bring up the same things and accuse them of the same things which they've had no involvement in.
So all the people who are just currently here just have nothing to do with whatever went on in the past then?
Well, okay, so we're talking about Hex, the 5th gen thing, and you mentioned Bane's the 6th gen thing. If somebody joins in 7th gen, have they had any involvement? No. I mean, even people at the time, they haven't sent messages, they haven't done what Hex did. They have worked on a group they've themselves have been trying to put hard work in because they enjoy it and they've had fun doing it. At the end of the day, I don't pay anybody to do this. This isn't a business. This is a hobby. A group thing people enjoy. One of the things that I did start in 7th gen, the reason I started is because of the enjoyment I missed from the good days to 3rd gen, 4th gen. It's why I decided to venture to open it, to get the name, to bring some of the people back, even some people back who'd actually previously betrayed it for the old times. One of the big things for 7th gen for me is people should be enjoying themselves and also learning. I've always said clans can be a great place to learn skills. In clans, you can win battles, you can lose battles, you can get executed, but there's things you can learn from that, which you can take with you. I would like to think that at least some people who've been part of WE, at some point, some of the skills or things they've learned or the friends they've met benefits them going forward. If every member who goes through that door in and out can have at least one positive thing affect them further from it, I'm happy that they've been there's been success there. Because again, look, W's gonna have to go down one day. Eventually, it will just be a memory and over a few people. If it's a good memory for more people, then I'm happy, and that's what I want 7th gen to be.
So you're saying to me then that Western Empire has more sentimental value to you, and that's why you wanted to bring it back?
To 7th gen, yeah. That's why I brought 7th gen back.
Right.
At the end of 7th gen, I would be nothing more happier for me personally if I could hand it off to somebody else. I'm not WE the same. Bane was W same. MLG is not W. W is its own thing. It doesn't live or die by me. I mean, sadly, it may.
So you're hoping that by whenever you're coming to the end of this generation, you'd hand it off to someone else then?
Yes, or at least something could be born from it. Maybe maybe it's something new, but that's something the members would, they would make their own thing separate from WE. I'd wish them best in that, but if it wasn't a W 8th gen or, it wasn't my involvement, I would probably leave them for that project, because unfortunately, I think so much weight is being put on even named Commando, even me, despite, I've not done either of these two things, let's be real, that maybe it's best I distance myself from them. And in a way, it's a bit upsetting. This has been a big part of my life. I started clans when I was 12, but on old Halo Reach. We're talking UN, Shield of Honor, for those ancient like me who might remember them. At the end of the day, I'm not the only one with these feelings, because I couldn't be, because this WE is not just me. It's all them people past and present. I couldn't have just kept name. The officers I have now who go back to 3rd gen, I think the most senior one is 3rd gen member. It means that much to them. It means that much that we've said, we've explained the situation, we've been open about it. They know as much as you do. What we've told everybody as much as I do, because we've been open on it. And yet, despite that, I think they can understand that WE is not just two people. They're WE. I want them to be WE. Their involvement is what matters, because they are the members who make it. So yeah, I'm sentimental. WE is not, again, my project. It's our project, and it's their project, and that's what you're fighting against. You're fighting against their project and their will for it.
I don't know, learning what I do afterwards makes nearly this entire interview so irrelevant. There's just so much it goes under my skin. I don't like him. The one thing I am happy with this interview is getting a better understanding of the mentality of the people in this Commandos group. But after this interview, I didn't really know how to proceed, so I kind of held off of it for a little while. I was looking back on some of the Western Empire posts, and I noticed this pillar coalition thing that Western Empire had with a few other gangs amongst Red Dead Online, one infamously known as Charon Industries that they keep bringing up in their videos. So I was messaging Cutter Locus, and he was just going on about his normal egotistical, oh, my crew's the best thing ever since the birth of Christ. But anyway, he mentions that he had informants in every crew. Kinda cringe. So I decided to ask about this, and asked what information he might have had on Western Empire. He then sent me on some screenshots from a conversation with him and Commando Sabre. And this is taking place in the middle of 2022, so this is still like a year after all this went down with Commando, Bane, and Circle. It turns out he was also trying to push away that what Bane was doing was illegal. Making points like age of consent in the UK is 16, but Circle's from the United States. There's also a couple of extra screenshots that I hadn't seen, so clearly Circle had deleted her account afterwards. There's also another bit here where he starts talking about age gaps, like he talks about his own parents being 17 and 24, like, what the fuck? Who cares? In one of the screenshots, Bane literally says, "You are young and cute," which clearly indicates like such an age gap. The last message here from Cutter as well, he says, "We distance ourselves from Bane because he was going through genuine legal proceedings." What? The only way I could see like a genuine legal proceeding taking place is if your one's boyfriend actually sent some screenshots to law enforcement and went ahead with something. The only other thing I could think of is that he was full of shit and lied to Cutter Locus, which is the most likely outcome. For a while I thought this might have been the last piece that I would get on Western Empire. However, I then was reached out by someone with the gamer tag Sir Grievous. As soon as I started reading the messages, I realized that this was Commando Nox from when we fought Western Empire prior. So I ended up arranging to meet and talk with Grievous and started to really unfold some of the information that the Commandos were keeping secret.
Hey, okay.
What are we watching? Hey, Grievous, how are things?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I don't know how much time you have,
that
but
me?
I've got a lot of stuff. What the Commandos do best is they lie and they manipulate
Who shot
until
this
they
thing,
can
Dennis?
somewhat recover their reputation. Well, in fact, one of the Commandos is actually a police officer.
Which one?
Sabre.
Saber's actually a police officer.
Yeah, and one of those people were telling me about like all the stuff that happened, like Bane with the circle stuff, and then Bane with a couple other people as well that you might not know about.
Is Circle wasn't the only one?
No, okay, she was not the only one.
Well, that's all a lie. There was no soup. No. There's no sweatshop. Excuse me. I gotta go to the can.
Alright, okay.
Hey, Grievous, how are things?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Can't lie, I'm on holiday right now, but kind of enjoying it, taking it as it is. But so this isn't actually the first time we've talked. We used to be in WE with each other way back.
Wait, you were there when I first encountered Western Empire?
Yeah.
When my gamer tag was Maculuk.
I just remember your gamer tag being more okay. I remember we both rebelled against WE and went to that Star Wars clan, if you remember that.
Star Wars clan. I don't think I went
Called
to a
like
Star
Grand
Wars
Army
clan.
Republic or something.
I think someone did set up a Star Wars clan though at the time. I can't remember. You were Commando Nox, right?
Yeah, I was in there for like 8 days or something. I really just wanted to see what their server was like, but they had it all locked down. Couldn't see fuck all.
Right.
And I had a couple friends who joined it as well. Some pretty impressionable people. And I kind of wanted to make sure they were safe. But I would be lying if I didn't say I wasn't curious to what was going on. But yeah, Commando Nox was the old name.
So why did you change it then from Commando Nox to Sir Grievous?
So I was done with them. I mean, I wasn't really exactly friendly with them in the first place, but when Bane started getting involved in stuff, I was like, I'm gone. Bye bye.
Wait, so Bane was still pretty much in control of Western Empire?
Have a brilliant chat, lad. We are gonna have a great time in this party, I can tell.
When I made that video, Sabre reached out to me, and then I talked to him a couple of days after that. And I have a full, just interview with him. But I've just been receiving more information and screenshots and shit. So it's like...
I've already done a lot of work exposing WE as well, and what they've done, making sure all the stuff that they were trying to hide got to Red Dead News pages and stuff. And then I thought, well, what better than to go to you? Everyone knows about your videos in the com, so may as well get it to where it's going to be reached the most. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if you're aware, but I was pretty high up in WE. And then there was a situation that happened that I'm going to go into in a minute.
Well, I would imagine you were high up if you had your gamer tag as Commando. I would presume that was the hierarchy, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing as well. It is a weird cult-like system that they have. And Lord have mercy. I don't know how much time you have, but I've got a lot of stuff that you might not know about. Some stuff you might know about.
Yeah, we can talk for as long as you want. I don't mind.
So, right. Where to begin? So I should probably begin with my clan and stuff. So my clan right now is Belenus, and what I did was essentially I rebelled against WE, took 60 something members, who no commandos, none of that, all people who were innocent to it. Most of them didn't even know about the whole stuff. And now we've been running our group for about a month now.
Is that when you split? Because I know Sabre said that the whole thing split and he went and did United Federation and you've done some Empire?
Yeah, Belenus.
So those two groups aren't working together then?
Oh, no. They fucking hate my gut for what I've done. Because I was literally planning on rebelling, and then he came to me the night I was doing it. And then he was, oh yeah, we're going to shut down. I was like, wow, that's brilliant. That's going to definitely let me take a lot more innocent people and it did. I think out of like the 120 people, like 40 people were inactive, like 60 came with me, and only like 20 went with the Commandos. But I would imagine that you have that whole party recorded, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to say is really going to contradict what he said, because what the Commandos do best is they lie and they manipulate until they can somewhat recover their reputation. But he's showing that he's desperate to get me to shut up.
Why is he trying to get you to shut up?
Because I'm just open and honest about all the things that they did, all the things that they tried to hide.
Okay, let's try go at the start then. How long have you been a Commando?
How long was I Commando? I'm not sure. I joined it in like October or something, and I can't have been there for more than 2 weeks.
So you've only been... Oh, right, that's when we encountered you. So you were only a Commando for like 2 weeks until we bumped into you guys in that session.
Yeah, just about.
And how long have you been in Western Empire in total?
Like over all the generations.
So wait, you've joined like a couple of different generations and then jumped out?
Yeah,
or...
like I originally joined somewhere between 2nd and 3rd gen. Like I was here for a long time. But I didn't hear about all like the dramas with like Bane and Hex and stuff until before this generation opened. Right. When I heard about it, I had just got back into the Red Dead community. I was in a clan called 1RD. Shit clan. Could not be arsed with them. They were weird. But I had a couple friends in there who were like I used to play with back in the day. And it was just kind of like I just so happened to stumble upon them. And one of those people were telling me about like all the stuff that happened, like Bane with the Circle stuff, and then Bane with a couple other people as well that you might not know about.
Is Circle wasn't the only one?
No, okay, she was not the only one.
Okay, this has already made things quite interesting. Yeah, I've already seen what Bane looks like as well. Someone sent me a picture of him standing next to Boris Johnson.
Oh my god, that picture's a sticker in one of my servers.
So how old is Bane? I was told he's 26 right now.
See, the thing is, right, I am getting so many different, like, not reports, but I'm getting told a lot of different things. And what that's telling me is that there's something dodgy. Like, I've had places between, like, 22 and 40. Not 40, sorry, 30. Pretty much everywhere there in between 22 and 40, I've heard. Honestly, I don't know what's true.
Right.
Like, I don't know exactly what his age is. But he was definitely being predatory towards Circle. End of story there.
How old was Circle? Or were you, like, in Western Empire at the time? It was in 2021. I think it was March 2021 was the screenshot that was taken.
Ooh. Yeah, I actually used to work alongside Bane in the earlier generations before all that stuff happened. And then I was kind of inactive near WE or not in WE during those times.
Okay.
And then obviously I didn't hear about it. The Commandos say they went public about it. And they'll like say that until their lips bleed. But no. The most that they did was put an announcement out about Hex on their server. And
I saw that one.
Yeah, I don't have a screenshot of that, but I've got a transcript.
Sabre sent me a screenshot of it, and I was looking at it, and it was like, yeah, okay, I guess that's fine, but like I didn't see it on any other like social medias, so I don't think my point was invalid when they try to say they publicized it. But yeah, how old was Circle then?
If 15.
She was 15. I've heard 15 and 16.
Yeah, 15 years old.
At the time, okay.
Like 100%, I know that to be fact, because one of the people in my clan right now used to be friends with her back then, and know all about the situation. Whether they want to get into that or not is a different thing, because I know Circle's trying to like move on with her life or whatever, and get away from that stuff, from what I've been told.
According to Sabre, he told me that the whole situation between Bane and Circle only lasted for like 2 weeks, which I don't know if that's true or not, obviously, because it's a single screenshot from what could be a long conversation.
Oh, with single screenshot? I swear I've got like 7. Hold on.
Wait, you actually have more from that conversation?
Yeah, I believe I've got more of those. I'll just need to find them somewhere in my Intel chat.
What's your Discord? I'll quickly add you on Discord.
No, but I've got several screenshots of that somewhere.
Yeah, if there's more screenshots of the conversation, I mean, that just, I guess.
Yeah, there's more
helps.
screenshots of the conversation, but I don't think there was anything as definitive as like her saying her age to him.
Right.
But either way, like, when you talk to someone, like, I'm 22 years old, right? I would know if I was talking to a 15-year-old. Like,
of course.
Come on. Like, ignorance is not a defense in that, like, regard.
I've also seen the screenshot where it's, I just sent you a friend request there on Discord, where it's Bane, Sabre, Twisted, and I forgot the fourth person, but they're all like standing together, and then everyone else's faces are like blurred out. Do they do the Commandos usually just do like big meetups or something with each other, or because you said it's very like cult like?
Oh, that screenshot that you're referring to, I have the entire uncensored version, and we've also worked on getting everybody else's names on there as well.
Are the rest of them Commandos as well?
Oh, every single one of them.
Right.
A couple of names that are in there that weren't on there, like Eagle, Laser, Bullet, War, Ice,
and so
which is another situation we need to get.
I have heard. Okay, so with Commando Bane, and obviously he was caught messaging a 15-year-old, and I've had people message me on like alt accounts on Instagram, and people saying how the other Commandos are like quote unquote afraid of him, and they'll cover up anything he's done. Now, at first, I was very hesitant of that because I felt it was very weird until I could see the Boris Johnson picture and realized, right, this guy has
a campaign manager for the Tory party.
Okay, so I don't fully understand British politics. I understand that Tory is like the posh wankers, but besides that, I don't actually know like how high up in UK politics he really is.
He makes the meetings happen.
Right.
That's what my understanding of a campaign manager is, at least. And I'm not saying I'm anywhere near qualified to talk about that, but and I'm not even saying that is 100% what he does, like his job description. I'm just saying that's what I would imagine it is when his title is campaign manager. So obviously you didn't get the screenshot from me because this would have like legal complications for me. But that is them. The whole picture, everyone completely like labeled.
Who is Ice?
So Eagle and Ice, I believe those two are in a relationship.
So all of them are Commandos?
All of them, yep, and that's all of those is their gamer tags. Obviously just put Commando before it. I believe there's only one person on here, Hawk, who's no longer a Commando. Like he got kicked out. I believe the reasoning for kicking him out or something is because he didn't have a job when he was like 30 or something and he lived with his mum. Which is very funny coming from the Commandos.
What? That just sounds really ridiculous. The fuck?
We're not. We're like 20 minutes in, and it's not even the most ridiculous shit you're going to hear. WE went for 9 months. This generation WE went for 9 months. Actually, when your videos came out, I was actually kind of a fan of them. Honestly, I thought the Jack Marston shit was hilarious. Yeah, like the Chaos Soldiers like running about Bane and stuff. Oh my god, I was actually going crazy.
So is it just Bane, and I mean obviously Hex, but is it really just Bane then who's really gotten who's done all this heinous shit?
Commandos swear up and down that Bane had no involvement in WE 7th Gen. The reality of it was he was like Sabre's main advisor. He would go off talk to him about the tough stuff, and then he would come back, and that stuff. In fact, one of the biggest things, I don't know if you've heard about this, WE this generation, and this is a very serious situation because I personally know the victim of this, had another case of like grooming, very similar to Bane's. I don't know if you've heard about this at all.
No, I haven't heard this one.
But this was actually prior to your chat with Sabre, and Sabre and the Commandos did their best to cover it all up. And then once WE was gone, I exposed it all on Instagram. So let me get these screenshots for you, and I'll send them to you while I talk about it. So this is on a different Commando, not Commando by name, but they were an ex-Commando. I'm sure you've probably heard the name Sunset before.
That does ring a bell.
But yeah, you can take a look at those. Obviously, these are the screenshots that I modified to put out on Instagram. So obviously, the victim remained anonymous. This person is 25, 26, and the person they're talking to is 16, and they're American, and this victim is British. What made me sick was a lot of people were trying to like defend it for the fact, oh, the victim's British, like it's legal. That is predatory in nature. One of the second in command of the Commandos defended these actions by saying, obviously, the perpetrator here is trans. Beast, the second in commando, has made an excuse that they're on hormones, they're on estrogen. It makes them more like horny. It's just disgusting shit. Like I don't even want to speak on it anymore. Beast and Sunset, who's obviously the person in these screenshots, used to date. So you're reading through them, you can probably see like it is very, very, very weird. Even if there's nothing like directly like personal sexual pictures, like stuff like that is still very much indicated.
They're sending them like anime porn gifs and shit.
Yeah, it's like 100% like predatory, and it is grooming. Like they were groomed. In fact, that's not the only example of that person grooming someone.
Something I should point out. There's a couple of times in this that Grievous has said this isn't the only example, or there's more cases against people like Commando Bane and now this person called Sunset. However, he never provides anything. So I can't really go off of 100% of what he's saying. Yeah, there's one case here of Sunset allegedly grooming a minor as well. And then we do have one being with Commando Bane and Circle. But if there was allegedly more accusations like this that were shoved under the rug, maybe that one with Cruel Surge with the 14-year-old might actually have some sort of validity, because Bane does say that there was allegations against him with that girl as well. I don't know. It's a strange one because there's so many people that do throw around different allegations but haven't fully provided evidence. The only real confirmations we have is that Grievous here was a commando. He was part of the group. He still hasn't provided evidence to support some of the accusations he's giving me. But even then, right, well, let's think of it for a second, right? There's 2 accounts of grooming, and then you got 1 rapist in your crew. Now, most gaming clans tend to, when they get 1 of these, they tend to shut down. How the fuck do you have 3?
So this person was brought in, Bane himself actually contacted her, and then from there, she was sent. I offered the Empress role in WE, and then they put her in there. I was there throughout the whole time of her being there.
What is the Empress? Like, what is the purpose of it? Like, it sounds like that really should be like a leadership thing, not just something you hand to like some random person.
As the top of the top. The reason like this person in particular was chosen is because way back in 1st gen, they were an Empress for like 2, or an Emperor at that time for like 2 weeks. So apparently that makes them like qualified or something. Even before all this stuff came out, and the victim came to me personally, and a few other people who are really close to me, they came to because they felt like we were a safe place to go with this information. Sabre and the Commandos wanted to keep this very hush-hush, really under wrap. They did agree that she needed to be removed, but they wanted to give her like a send-off, like a ceremony in-game where they'd have like a speech and stuff, which I fought against to the point where obviously that didn't happen. But what they did later do was put a goodbye message in like an announcements channel or something. And I don't no longer have access to the Western Empire Discord. The thing is, right, my clan will have ramifications from it. But even then, I literally do not care as long as the truth is out there. Because obviously, I'm an ex-commando. Regardless of why I joined, it's obviously going to stain my name. Like people saying, oh, they don't regret their decision. People who still actively fight against my group and try and dig up dirt on us. But when I formed Belenus, there's a video out there on Commando Money's YouTube channel where there's like an hour-long meeting, like the last meeting of WE, where we're talking about the split and stuff, and I'm absolutely just waffling to them about saying things like,
"This is on more than publicly on YouTube."
Oh yeah, I could send you over that link if you want.
Commando Money.
Absolutely waffling to them the whole time, saying like, "Oh yeah, the Commandos are still welcome to join. We'll put one of them as Emperor and stuff. And like, oh, we'll be like the successor to WE." When all was said and done, they were banned outright. That was then made known that Commandos have no place here in this clan and in this community. All these people worked hard to build a community, and you will no longer stain or prey upon those people.
What about like doxing allegations? Because I've seen in when they made the video on L-Huds 4, and at the very end there's a split second.
L-Huds is actually in my crew.
Right.
He was 13 years old when they done that, and they 100% done that. Like they doxed him when he was 13. Anything more on that, I guess, is just like they done it as some kind of like way to get back at them. In fact, they accused me of posting that like censored picture of them, of the Commandos, and I didn't even see it until that picture was posted. And then after doing a little bit digging, I actually found out who did it.
Yeah, now they're messaging me on Discord.
Oh, Jimmy boy.
Spookus.
Oh, Dale. That's unreal. He's the second in command of my crew.
Yeah, he's been sending me a shit ton of screenshots and stuff as well.
We haven't even talked about like come to you. Like we all both agree like we're both mature enough and we both know what we're doing enough to help the clan in our own ways.
He sent me a couple of pictures or screenshots from. There's one here from Zach Higgins, which I guess is Commando Hex Snapchat or something. He was talking with Spookus's brother, I think it was.
There's a screenshot of Hex asking how old his little brother is. I don't know if you've got that one.
Hold on. No, I don't. I have one where he says he's his favorite rifleman.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, that's a little creepy, especially when it's only like a couple of months before he gets arrested.
In fact, there's a recent person who went with the Commandos during the split called Evil Turtle 5 something something. But in the video that I'm about to send you, right near the end, they talk about turning him into a commando. Bear in mind, this kid's 15.
Right.
Yep. So in that meeting, most of the people there, like obviously who aren't commandos.
This is an unlisted video. Ooh, time to download, I guess.
So in that video, there's a bunch of stuff. Right before this, like this meeting happened, like maybe half an hour beforehand, we already had a server ready for this shit, and we were all ready to go, literally about to rebel. And then he's like, oh, we're closing down. Because as much as the commandos like to say, oh, Bane's not involved or whatever, Bane is still the owner of the Discord server. Bane has to be there for new commandos to be initiated. And I can tell you more about that as well. Bane is like the director in a way. Well, that's one of his roles in their Discord, is he's the director. So as much as they say, oh, he's not involved, he is very much involved. But they split their like thing into two groups, which is like the online and in real life. Everybody in the in real life is a part of the online one, but not everyone in the online one's a part of the in real life one, if that makes sense.
Got it.
So it's like a kind of like two circles, like there's an inner circle of them, all the ones who are like in real life. They have like their own WhatsApp chats, messenger chats, and then there's the online ones who all just are on Discord.
How many Commandos is there altogether?
Right now?
Yeah.
To list off the top of my head, Bane, Beast, Twist, Kick, Nick, Sabre, Eagle, Nero, Bullet, Laser, at least 12.
Right.
At the very least 12.
How many people have they doxed? Like, obviously Elhud's 4, as I mentioned earlier, but is that like...
Openly? None, I don't think. None other than HUD. Well, in fact, one of the Commandos is actually a police officer.
Which one?
Sabre.
Sabre's actually a police officer?
Yeah, with the police.
How the... So why the fuck is he defending Bane, then?
Lord only knows. Lord only knows. I don't actually know what was said to you in that meeting.
Basically, from what I've heard from his perspective, is that Bane has no interaction with Western Empire at all. So
Not
it's
true.
Is there any proof of Sabre being a police officer?
I know his name, and that's all stuff on public record. But I've got DMs with him and stuff saying like that he's at work. He's like doing like PD. Like,
is there any
stuff.
Picture of him in a police uniform?
No.
Or yeah, even if you have the screenshots of like the conversation between you and him.
I'd need to go back for those ones, but I think I know his name. It's like he is 100% a police officer because we used to talk to me and a bunch of others about like him being on duty, like how he used to like go and sit in like weed farms that had been raided for like 12 hours at a time, and how he used to get like contact high and stuff. Talking about how he used to be like patrolling outside his HQ, like guarding stuff, even like in courts of law and stuff. He was like posted. I believe he's trying to leave the police at the moment and join the military. But no, he's an actual police officer.
That's this is just an endless rabbit hole. But here,
I'm
look,
not even halfway through.
But I mean, if you want to talk more over the weekend, I'm completely free. Or if you want to, if there's anything else you want to bring up right now.
To get in, like give you a brief summary, there's Commando Twist has done a bunch of dodgy shit, questionable things with a minor, like being online, like being on FaceTime with them during the night, like while they sleep and stuff. Commando Eagle, who cheated on his fiance with someone in WE who was of age. But I've got the voice clips and the transcripts of all their and screenshots of all their conversations. The giant striking thing, where an underage person was caught being groomed by a 40-year-old man, and they swept all that under the rug as well. There's other stuff. There's lots of other stuff.
Fuck.
To get into.
If you'd be able to also, like, I know Sabre's full name. Do you know Bane's real name? All right, man. Well, look, thanks for coming out to me. We'll talk another time. We'll discuss more. But whatever screenshots and stuff you have, just send them on, and I'll throw them into my folder.
Well done. Yeah, you have a good one. Okay.
All right. Cheers, Grievous. Unfortunately, this is the last time I actually speak with Grievous. There wasn't any more information that I had received from him, at least vocally. I mean, I had received some screenshots such as the Western Empire closing statements and stuff. Eventually, Western Empire split into two separate groups. Sabre and a few others went over to Grand Theft Auto 5 and started something called the United Federation. But this didn't kick off. In fact, it got basically no publicity, nothing, and it just kind of crumbled and died off. The other group in question, which Grievous was running, was called Belenus Empire. This whole Belenus Empire scenario gets a little bit creepy later on. As much as it comes across that Grievous seemed a bit more genuine than Sabre. Realistically, it kind of came across like he was throwing Western Empire under the bus to avoid me from looking into Belenus Empire. I remember commenting on one of their posts before I met up with them, and I asked if the Commandos had any involvement with Belenus. And just as he said there, no, they don't. Even then, Belenus Empire still got into their own controversies that you'll see towards the end of this documentary. So we learn a couple of things from Grievous that we didn't know prior. Firstly, we have confirmation that that image with Boris Johnson and Commando Bane. But for context, we'll call him MH. Now, MH is a campaign manager for the Tory party. After that, I don't know much else. I couldn't uncover anything else on Commando Bane, simply because it would appear that he's just removed any trace of evidence of his existence. Like, there's no Facebook, just nothing. And as we can see, the Commandos actually meet up in real life, which just makes it so much creepier, man. The fact that these guys know each other IRL is just so weird, like all the weird shit they got up to. I did some digging into Commando Sabre. I only know Commando Sabre's real name because of the accounts that he messaged me on. But we're going to call him CJ. Now, CJ, as we learnt from talking with Grievous, is actually a police officer. So I came across this LinkedIn page, but I just want to let you know, I'm not going to reveal his full name, workplace, or home address, or anything like that. The reason for that is I'm not here to like defend the Commandos or anything. It's simply due to doxing. Not because, you know, just solely because it's illegal. It's also against YouTube's terms of service. This is also why earlier I stated why I believe they were threatening Cruel Surge with giving quote-unquote evidence to the Garda Síochána. The Commandos seem to flex this "we have people in power" mentality, and unfortunately even themselves seem to believe it. It seems like people have been given a narrative that if they screw with these guys, something bad is going to happen, but I don't think these guys have any sort of power that they try and claim that they actually have. Now, again, I can't show you the specific police station. I can tell you he's a police officer. That isn't doxing. Telling you he's a police officer of a specific police station is doxing. Now, I know people are going to jump to the conclusion that, well, like, hold on, what about the whole L-Huds 4 stuff? Like, they revealed other people's information, or at least threatened to reveal other people's information. Why won't you do it? Because I don't need to go as low as them. And besides, this is more of a Red Dead situation than a real life situation. The fact that this shit would have to even be dragged into real life is just absurd. And the only reason I'm even looking into this here now is simply because of how outrageous their occupations are given the scenario they've put themselves in. CJ, aka Sabre, has definitely been covering for his friend MH, aka Commando Bane. Maybe there's some political thing there, maybe the dudes helped them get a job, I don't fucking know. But it's still creepy nonetheless. So the last bit of information that I got sent from Grievous is a video that was recorded by Commando Money, and it was on Commando Money's YouTube channel as an unlisted video. Now, only a couple of months ago, this video did get re-uploaded to a YouTube channel called RDR Conspiracies, and people started reaching out to me and wondering what was going on because they thought it was a brand new video, when in reality, this video was literally recorded this same night I uploaded that second video. This was Commando's emergency meeting about what the fuck they were going to do because now they're in hot water. And this is where you'll really get to see the fucking cheekiness of them. How fucking desperate they are to make sure that this legacy that they've built, how can they get out of this less stained than they already are? Anyway, I'm not going to keep yapping on. I think you should take a seat and take a listen to this because this is just copium at its fucking finest.
So obviously I've spoken to the Brigadier about it, I've spoken to the Prime Minister about it. I've been considering this one for a while. Simply put, I'm looking at potentially the end of 7th Gen. There's multiple reasons for this. I'll go through them. And I'm gonna get rid of the first thing people are gonna think too is gonna be War Wookie's video. That's not it. In fact, it's actually been enlisted. And no matter what the outcome of this meeting really is, I'm going to continue fighting that one to get it taken down, because there's a load of things now which are factually daft.
I just want to quickly add something here, by the way. So, during this time, as I said earlier, I had unlisted the videos simply because I wanted to get all of the information. I was being relatively fair, I believe. Unfortunately, these guys were just trying to take advantage of that. Now, in the last, few months, some people have taken this, because he says he's going to proceed to take the videos down, and some people were making rumors that Commando Sabre had sent legal action against me because I had taken down the first 2 videos I ever made on Western Empire. No. So a few months back, I just was going through a lot of my old content. Some of it just, to me, felt really unprofessional. So it's why I unlisted them. No, I have not received any legal action, and I highly doubt he's going to be fucking bothered to send legal action against this one.
But that is the here nor the end of this meeting. First one, Red Dead as a platform it's decayed. It has been abandoned by Rockstar, which we've all known, and the community is horrid. We can't get a single semi-decent interaction with anybody. There is no new future for W in that sense. I don't think there's a new future for anything on Red Dead in that sense. We have a good group here, not just in this room, but in this clan. People who want to be here, people who want to work on something, a project. I need to look at more than just W's name. I need to look at the people, what can be started. Truthfully, my time in clans might be unfortunately limited as is. I mean, for people who may or may not know, I'm looking at going to the military, and I want to make sure I can leave behind something which can continue. And I don't know if Red Dead's that. Open heart, honestly, I'm scared for that. No matter what we do, there's sacrifice. No matter if we look for a new pasture, if we stay here, there's something is sacrificed. Look, I'll be open honest. Myself and the Brigadier have spoken on this. He disagrees. He wants to stay. Some of you in this room may want to stay. Some of you may want to go wherever to a new plane. That is your decision. The name in Red Dead, W had, the community itself's gone, but W's name's never going to come back. It's going to be the same thing. Once I'm gone, I think W's name will go with me, even if I kept it open till the military. I think everyone's been thinking, why haven't we branded? We haven't rebranded because the old name, because the work people had put in, but they put in a different community with different people. W used to be third, 4th gen. The stubbornness, the sheer stubbornness we had in fights would stop people coming to fights because they knew they weren't going to get a quick hour murder. We would stick in for 9. That's not the community we have anymore. What's left is booters, scum of the earth. There is no honor. Any fight we're going to go into is just going to be who stays the longest. And I'm sorry to say, as British, as the majority British and Irish here, we're bugged in that sense. The Americans can stay up past our bedtimes. And that's what fights this community seems to become. We have to fight a desperate media war, which about 100 people on Instagram watch aside, and 50 of them are our members. Is this what we want to continue? And I'll state my intention clear. I will continue to fight for W while I'm here. I'm going to fight the War Wookie thing. In case you haven't noticed, the video is already unlisted. That's from my work. That's from Money's work helping me.
Firstly, I'm the one that suggests taking down the videos temporarily until all the information is then given. And afterwards, I do relist them because I realize how much of a scumbag you really are. And even here, the fucking cheek to then say, oh, that's like a victory. The videos are taken down. And then you decide to call a meeting where you start by saying, oh, everyone in the Red Dead community are scum. Oh, we can't get a decent conversation. Every battle is like 9 hours long and the Americans are past our bedtime. You've completely avoided the situation. The reason why you can't get anyone decent to communicate with you is because you're literally the biggest scum of Red Dead Online. Me alone with just 2 videos made these guys panic this much. Let's proceed.
I'm going to continue fighting that. I am considering new pastures. However, there's another side. I intend to be fully fair at this meeting. I know the Brigadier currently has the plan and the belief to stay. I'm going to let him speak, and then we're going to discuss possibility forward, because the key thing is even if we disagree with different people's ideas, we do as best as we can, as much as we can for every and all sides. So, Brigadier, I'm going to open your time to speak. Go ahead.
Right. Each and every single one at this table, I've worked hard with, regardless of who you are, regardless of how long I've known you. We've all worked hard to ensure that this generation has continued as successful as it has. We've definitely had its ups and downs, but right now, we're at a very solid and strong point. What I don't want to happen, no, this is no disrespect, but we need to consider all avenues. Like last gen, we'll take for example. The higher ups got bored, shut down, went to
GTA.
different game, clan died. Year later, 7th gen opens. We've worked tirelessly together, forming bonds and friendships, and an unbreakable loyalty to each other, not just the name WE. The loyalties that we have to each other are far stronger. Regardless of what happens with the name WE, we will always be there together, supporting each other, even if it's under a new name, new structure in the system, new leadership. What I don't want to happen is I don't want to see the bonds that we've made and the friendships that we've made and the accomplishments that we've had, considering the future of the clan. I don't want it all to be gone. And I know, General, one of the things that you wanted is if I did take WE, that you'd want the name to just stay. By the end of the day, the name WE, regardless of how many people have joined and how many people have made a difference and an impact on WE, it will always be seen as Commando Bane's clan. And regardless of, what Hex's position was, he will always be called, will be known as pedos and rapists. So rebrand is absolutely necessary, but we're not hiding from it because we're keeping our past achievements and accomplishments. We're keeping the same people we had before. If people want to go, okay. If they want to try a new avenue, a new approach to their milsim career, okay, that's up to them. But at the end of the day, in a second, I'll just get a quick show of sidearms in the air. How many of you feel the same way as me, that we shouldn't fucking close? That we shouldn't just give up on what the fuck we've done for the past fucking 9 months. What we've built, what we've created, it just doesn't need to happen. Right, okay, Bill, thank you for that. The work that's been put into WE in the past is certainly impressive. The generations in a different community is exactly that. It was a different community, and while I agree the community is far different, it's definitely far from dead. Thousands of people who know our name, who know never mind their name, know the individuals in this clan and what we can do. The fact that we are all together, and the fact that we hold each other to such a high regard in this community. The fact that everyone knows what we've done, what we can do. There's just no point. In my opinion, there's no point in giving up on what we've done.
Truthfully, it's a good show, and I'm actually quite proud that every one of you, wants to see it through. Myself and the Brigadier have disagreements, but I think, I totally, I stand by and I respect his opinion on it. The matter, I think it's quite a well one. I disagree on the rebrand, but I mean, well, you all know, been W since 1st gen. Truthfully, I think we all deep down know. Maybe it would be best to leave me behind in the rebrand.
But it's not as if we're going to leave you behind. I mean, you want to move on to newer pastures anyway. And build something that you can leave behind that will stay on a game that won't be left behind. Which is totally fine. I understand that. But right now, the way I'm set in RDR. I love the challenge. The community is fucking despicable as it is. In a fucked up way, I do love it. I enjoy it. Because it's a challenge. At the end of the day, milsim's my hobby. And it's a hobby of everyone here. And it's become a bit more than that, actually, of recent. Not that I'd put on a CV. But...
I've considered it sometimes. Yes. Why do you think you should take over command of the British Army? Well, you see, WE
went hard.
No,
Sadly, send them a link to the Sons of Wargaming.
Sadly, they never respond to my offers application when I just mentioned WE on it. But hey ho.
I was there at the slave planes that day.
Look.
All right, but in all seriousness,
my current stance still will be, before any rebrand, is the Sons of War matter need to be solved, which is my job. I blame Dell. And it should stay as W while that matter's being sorted. Otherwise, whatever you build, it will follow. And the last thing I want is for that to follow. If you guys are staying here, I intend to set the stage the best. Part of me does wish it could continue, but even now I know that, let's be honest, let's say I stayed till my application went through, W would still die with me anyway. It's clear from that vote at the table, and obviously who'll be taking over, what's going to happen to it. Maybe this is where I depart for the better for the group, is I take W with me. And truthfully, I really didn't want to. I walked into this meeting like, I do not want to say these things. Because again, as the Brigadier said, he's absolutely right in the hard work you've all done. I mean, I've seen it from first generation. I've seen the names. Some of the names from third gen are sitting at this table. Money, Grievous, you two are the first example. Fourth gen, fifth gen, names have added on, and even in seventh gen, we've got new names who have worked just as hard as people in the past. All to this project, I myself has been since started. It's heartwarming. And despite your opinion of Bane or MOG, I think they would say the same. I honestly do. But if a W is to die when I lose, I think it's best it's done in proper consideration. I will probably end up giving up my offer to people who wish to follow me, which I think they should at least have a right to. I don't think anyone can argue on that. If they wish to go to a new area, so be it. But any move we do should be peaceful. There should be no hostilities, because in the end we've all worked the project.
I agree.
I would ask that I at least have a bit of a talk in what goes forward. Maybe some parts of W can survive to whatever you make next.
I don't view it more as like a WB dying as you go. It's not. I don't think you're a martyr in that sense. I think it's more being passed on to be sculpted into a different thing as the community evolves and changes. And obviously, like you said, we've added so many new names to the table that it's not the same clan. It's not the same community. It's barely even like nothing is the same from what it has been. And if you decide that it's your time, I don't think that saying it's dying is the right term. I think it's more of a passing it down, and that whatever we do next would be more of like a kindred spirit to WE. But also there are things that have to be left behind in the past. At least that's my viewpoint on what a transition is, not a death.
You're quite right. I think the difference we have is perspective. I mean, it's no offense. Like, you're quite new to this, not new to the scenes and new, but very new. Whereas I've been from first gen. I guess for me, I suppose this is what it feels like to be the last of the Romans.
Feels more like the time when the Romans sent the Ninth Legion into Scotland. Most of you aren't going to get that reference.
Apart from myself and money, first gen's gone. Red Dead 1's gone. This is what it feels like. I mean, maybe this is what it felt like for the people in the West itself. I don't mean to get philosophical, but you are the next generation. And in fact, if some form continues unfolding Red Dead, that does make me quite happy. But no, I'm glad all of you today have stood this table, just wanting to stay. Whatever comes after WE is something we'll have to come after. I think it can go strong with this team here. Okay, may I call a temporary recess where I just keep the Brigadier and the Prime Minister here?
Yes, sir. Just head into the waiting room.
Lieutenant Colonel, pull everybody else into a party.
Aye, I'll do that.
That was very heartwarming to see, actually.
No, it would be the case. Like, every person here is dedicated a lot of their life. Never mind like time. It's like life to this.
It's funny how me and you, in a weird way, have reversed positions from our last talk on this type of topic.
Yeah.
But look, the W name will have to go down. It's the only way for you guys to get a break from it.
Yeah.
Quite hard to express how happy I am that they stood by it. It means we did well. All the hard work, all the sleepless nights, we did well because in return it was paid back in that. What would you make after WA?
The structure that W has is pretty unrivaled.
It's perfect.
And it's
7 generations of refining have made this.
So the only thing that would change is cosmetically. Names, uniforms, buildings, titles. As the structure W is being honed and sharpened and close to perfect, if not already perfect. But you were talking about how you'd like some things to stay, so.
I mean, you could probably get away with keeping some of the uniforms.
Keep your ranger uniform.
Well, I'll speak on that in a bit. What you plan to do government-wise, military-wise, and emperor-wise? I'm curious.
I would be in your position. I'd probably bring up. Well, I know Charlie will probably just go where the commandos go. So if you guys are heading off to newer pastures, it's bye-bye to him. So, if I'm all honest, the Joker would be my second. I mean, me and him have been close for a year or so now. I trust him completely, even though we can see each other's viewpoints and we get along well. Ego would probably go with you guys as well. As for government would need to collapse for a little bit, obviously, if all the commandos go, because they hold up the majority of the government. Slate, money, twist.
Slate,
I don't know why I said slate.
Yeah, he's
money,
civilian.
and twist.
I got it
but
already.
Money, you're the Prime Minister, head of foreign affairs. No one does your job better. You know, you've got your finger in every pie, so... Like, at the end of the day, like, us three, we've... Stand at this table, it reminds me of, like, when we first opened police. You know, it was us three, you know, me and Money. We were recruited at the same time. It's definitely a bit of an emotional one. I won't lie. I mean, it is moving on to newer pastures.
It is, and this would probably be the last one. Like, there will be no 8th gen.
No, there wouldn't be an 8th gen. Regardless of what happens, it stays. Because we've got the most loyal cunts that I've ever seen on this game.
I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with whatever scraps I get. I've had a few ideas. As I said, what matters first, I need to settle the war Wilkie situation. I'm gonna deal with Sons of War before any move happens, otherwise it will follow you. I've got that plan in action. You will need to start considering your redraft structure. Once it gets to that point, obviously we'll discuss it. I by then should I've decided what I'm going to try for my new pasture. We'll float the announcements and give people the choice.
You would probably be going as well, wouldn't you, Money?
Probably, yeah.
Would you be able to give them some help with admin stuff before you do Money?
Discord's fairly simple, but yeah, there would be a couple of things.
I was going to say we would probably archive the 7th gen Discord. There would need to be the separation even Discord. You won't be able. We'd have to remove any possible link that way.
Well, if we could just clone the server, we could just clone the server, put it in a new one, and we'll transfer it in a new one, fresh slate as well.
And then plus all the inactive stuff can get ditched. And then obviously we can restructure it for you. I need to see who I have to work with.
What are you thinking?
I might open a side venture, keep a side venture open on Red Dead. It's my own little personal team of rangers.
I see.
Well, after long consideration, we've decided we're actually going to sacrifice RMP Tunde to the gods and hope for a load of members in return. So,
praise the Lord.
We're going to make a big fire and throw them on it, and then do some dances around it. See what happens.
Sounds like our Tuesday.
Oh, fuck God, Tuesday. Okay. So, plan of action. For now, the ship's going to continue as normal. As if W's going on forever. During this, I'm going to sort the war Wilkie situation. That is my most important last job, to make sure it doesn't follow what's new. I'm going to work with directly Grievous to basically help instruction whatever he's got planned new. Not going to make my announcement just yet, and we're going to keep this to the table. When it gets to that point, we'll basically at the same time we'll give them the option of where they want to go. Once all the skeletons are clock, once I'm sorted, we'll plan that. It will be the end of 7th gen. It will be the end of W. Brigadier, do you want to start discussions now, or do you want to leave it?
Well, we can do. So, with a rebrand and the majority of the Commandos and their followers moving to a different platform, government is going to be fucking obliterated, basically.
I would push for Dal to be the Prime Minister. He's had the experience before and knows what he's doing in the community.
As for the laws, we'll talk about it in the future, but I don't see any need to change them.
Nope.
You know, I know a couple of people want to make some adjustments to the blacklist and stuff, but we'll also work on that in the future when the time comes. And Joker, you will be my second.
Right.
You will be the Deputy Supreme Commander on my staff as Commander of the Army.
As far as
Locus.
the infantry or the rifles, I think Snub is a better fit to take that because he's more similar in leadership style to Joker than I am. I've said that to Joker before that I'm a good exo for an infantry division, but I'm too aggressive with like an actual command role.
Another thing we can obviously consider is actually bringing the Milsim community together again instead of just leaving each and every Milsim fucking fight griefers by themselves, and that's the extent of it. They train by themselves, fight griefer by themselves. Promote some friendly and positive interaction in the community again. Try and turn that into not what it used to be, because let's be real, it's not going to happen. The community's not going to be what it used to be, but it can definitely be something new.
You're not the first person to suggest that. You won't be the last either.
Exactly.
You have the best shot of doing it. You've the discipline of 7 generations of fucking molding from WE. You can then, if you do it right, I'm going to help make sure it's done right. You manage to lose all the W stigma. You'll have the biggest shot for the community. You'll have VK behind you if you pull it off right. Fuck Iron Company. And
Iron Company's not even a Milsim. It won't be a Milsim for much longer.
Yeah, but you have that chance. Oh, fuck Odin, please don't live Odin, I beg you. But look, you do have the chance to make a community again.
Was there anything that you personally wanted to keep in the clan, Sabre?
I'm gonna see whether your planning goes. I may have another idea for where I take myself. But I'm gonna see what happens and see if it fits into place. You know, if it fits in the jigsaw, so be it. If not, well, we'll see. Del, you seem to have been slated for PM, you unfortunate bastard. My advice, take advantage of money while you've got him. Gain any tricks you can from him. Not only from myself, but you know how he served as Prime Minister of the Bane, second to none skills. He'll give you the basics of how to operate more than just discipline, you know, more than just negotiations, because you are the biggest representative of your group externally. You're one of its biggest information gatherers, and you need to know how to do that properly. Get the facts from him. Whoever's going to be leading the main core infantry, listen to Joker. He's been doing it now. He's doing an excellent job. Obviously, he's going to be moving to essentially commander of the army. He's not going to be able to do it for you anymore. Take advantage of that skills. While Nyx is around, I don't know if you can have something like Dragoon Guard. Consider what he's being good at. You know, there's plenty of skills there. Take advantage while they're around. Grievous, you've done plenty of job in learn how to command. I think you do a fine job. So I'm not even going to bother saying, come ask me questions. But you know you can if you wish. There's something really good you guys have set up here, and I think you might be able to turn this sour negative into a positive. You've got one shot, and when the split's made or when the change is made, whatever happens, you need to take that momentum and run with it. Because something I would tell you, you grow or you die. If you stagnate at the start, you will wither and die quickly. Drive yourself as far as you can to get yourself to a stable position, then rest. But don't rest on your laurels completely. These are the talks I've heard every generation we've made, and it's what we've stuck to. It's how we got every generation off the floor. So our insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but sometimes insanity works. This will be a bit of a craft project over a few days, which I'll be helping out with much I can, of course. Grievous will be leading it because he's going to be taking over. You may notice gradually I might try and phase myself out and put him in more W situations. We're all aware of how succession's working there. So any things people want to bring up now?
Will there be a switch in the Discord, or are we keeping this?
There'll be in the Discord, this one will get archived.
Once money's given me admin. Or ownership. No, right. I believe that's
fine. We can look at clearing this meeting. I've got some thinking to where I'm going to take myself, but it's good to know that actually something of W will continue on Red Dead. Let's all look forward to the future. Thank you. You're all dismissed. If we just hold on to the Brigadier Prime Minister again.
Money, are you listening? You're just lurking.
What's up?
I'll shoot you a DM because I do want to take Sabre up on that advice, because I have heard some legendary stories on how good you are at getting information and also managing. So I do feel I've got a lot to learn from you if I do get put to PM.
Okay, just let me know what you need and I'll be there.
All right, I appreciate my name.
You have a interesting few days ahead of you.
Sleepless ones, I would imagine. So.
You're going to suffer what I suffered, and I'm going to enjoy every second of knowing you are. Warwoke, my talk of Warwoke, he's on Friday, FYI. So I'll keep you in the loop how that goes. Yeah, my plan for myself, I'm probably gonna have a few people come along with me. I know a few who probably will. Not many. I'm not gonna say names just because I don't want to put a stigma on them. My plan, I'll probably end up making a small unit somewhere, which will then grow into its own thing. Cause I'm not expecting big numbers. I'll be cheeky, keeps a little unit on Red Dead of a paramilitary group. As I said, making sure whatever follows after is successful is my top priority. As I said, we have disagreements, but I'm your ally on this one. Once the War Loki stuff's sorted and the plan's in place, we'll get moving on it. We won't dawdle. Ideally, I'm kind of hoping Iron Company change their name first. Okay, I just want to say, just before we ended, you've done really well. I think not only should you be proud, but I should be proud around you of what you've achieved. You started at the bottom, and now you're about to potentially be a general, or whatever the equivalent is. As I was saying, I advise you, when you're planning your structure, have something similar to the Imperial Staff. It's one of the most important tools as a leader.
Oh, no, 100%.
The advice like Money and you have gave to me and Nix has gave to me has been invaluable in my position, and I can't recommend it enough.
You get ownership of that server, Money.
What's up?
You can make ownership.
Yeah, I will.
You're free to go. Just give it a good think tonight, yeah? We won't get in the offices, but to be honest, as I said, it is actually nice to see them united.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah. It's not bad.
I'm just making sure it's not going to be WA. We're going to totally help them build it, but it can't be WA.
No, it can't. I don't mind them using their knowledge and time here, but it's not WE.
So it went as expected. All the officers want to stay, vehemently want to stay. We're then going to announce a split, and the members have to wait to come our way or stay there. We have to decide who basically we want to try and get on our side. I know Turtle has already won. Money, work on getting that done. When you're ready, make the recommendation to me. Sure. But I mean for Turtle, but Commando.
I do agree, yeah. I'll make the recommendation. Yeah. We got to get him a bit closer, I think, but I don't think that'll be difficult. He plays lethal with us. Yeah, that's his way in.
Will Twist come along to the next project, or is he going to take some distance?
I think he's done.
He'll probably take distance, but he'll still hang out about. But he won't.
He's only staying in his position currently. He's basically a loyalty to the Commandos and WA.
He's still a commander, though. He won't leave that, so he'll still be about. It's just not. Yeah. He's not.
I don't know what happened with Kix. I hope Kix stays, but
I asked Twist, and Twist said he was okay, but I don't really know what that means. We'll see.
Yeah, who knows? Charlie, you need to try and scout out people you think might be willing to come with us.
I can probably bring a couple Dragoons. I highly doubt Vo would go with Grievous over us.
We decide if we want to go GTA or Red Dead, and we decide fast.
I thought
I think GTA is going to be great. I'll be honest. I re-bought GTA because it's come off Game Pass, so I re-bought it half an hour ago. I've been playing around with the stuff, the outfits, and memories have been coming back to me. I'd absolutely be up for giving this a go and collaborating with Comrade again, perhaps. I think we could really.
Comrade probably wants to reforge it.
I'm getting their server set up, and I'm sticking both Jeff and Carl in there, so we can randomly send random shit to their server
without any context of the server as well. That's great.
Yeah, we won't have any clue if it works or not. And if they delete it, we won't know.
Wait.
Randomly
could you technically put a backdoor in about him now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
I don't know why he's chosen me for this.
I don't know.
I'll just get a bot in there, and I'll just tell him it's a bot, and it'll just be my alt account. It'll be great.
I think trying our hand at GTA is a good idea. And if it doesn't work out on GTA, we just find, oh, shit's dead, or, oh, we fucked it up, we can just brush it under the rug in the grand scheme of things and then go try a hand with Reforger. See if we can go infiltrate Hawk and Beast things and do a little Commando takeover.
Hawk and Beast they've been merged into Free Commando, which is so basically they used to be a 20-man unit. They've now been forcibly merged into a 300-man server. That's how big Reforger gets. That's only one thing. And then if we did Reforger after that, well, are we going to do mod or are we going to do Halo? Reforger's got theme options.
I feel like the moment the Halo mod breaks, the clan has to go on leave for a month or two. But with Modern, at least if the mod you're using breaks, you can still do the Modern shit just differently,
Yeah.
Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. I find it weird how their big focus was always about wars and battles that they were getting into. It's like, who cares? Like, who really cares about these 9-hour wars? It's just so childish on this game. That meeting was just an example of the attitude that a lot of the higher officers at Western Empire and the Commandos are really like. Commando Nix mentioning, hey, let's go to GTA, and if that doesn't work out, we can just say, oh, GTA is dead, and we'll brush it under the rug. That wasn't even my own words, that was theirs. They just straight up do not trust any of the people they were giving leadership to for this Belenus thing. Like, the fact that there was like, oh yeah, we'll put a second account in their Discord server and just say it's a bot. And even then, with Commando money as well. So he's the prime minister of their group. And Del is someone that comes along later on. Del clearly went up to Commando money and was like, hey, can you teach me how to get information on people?
I do want to take Sabre up on that advice, because I have heard some legendary stories on how good you are at getting information and also managing, so I do feel I've got a lot to learn from you if I do get put to PM.
Okay, just let me know what you need and I'll be there.
The group that Grievous is running, Belenus, gets into a lot of controversy months later over having a Doxxing Discord server. They had officers from Belenus and allied groups. They'd basically were getting people's real life information and putting them into this Discord server. And I find it so strange how the literal owner of the server, which is Del, is asking Commando money, how do you find people's information like this? It makes it so strange because Sabre himself, in the interview I had with him, specifically said, why should we take stuff out of the game? Why should we do all this? And then it's like, oh, we were the ones that got doxxed, right? But then, like, there's so many accounts of them being the ones to do this to others. We already saw it firstly with El Hud's Ford. We then saw Commando Bane threaten Cruel Surge. The messages that Commando Twist was saying to someone were like, if someone was to dox him, he would dox him back, which was just weird. And now this. Belenus officially gets exposed for having a doxing Discord server. And where did Del and the rest of them learn how to do that? There's no confirmation it exactly came from Commando money. But when you're literally asking a guy, hey, can you teach me how to find information on people, you're the best person to do it. Western Empire were also up to that same fucking shit. This mentality passed over into Belenus Empire. When I first heard about this doxing server that Belenus had been running, I had just came back from Deadwood in South Dakota, and I just come back from the States from a holiday, and someone joins the Enclave Discord server that we have for Fallout 76, and they message one of our guys called Black Swan. They start sending him all these screenshots and stuff of like this Discord server that had just been leaked that Belenus was running. So I was here looking at this and someone made a little short video. So I'm going to play it here now so you can have a brief look at what was going on. What the fuck was that? Just want to also say, brave soul that. based. So it turns out this doxing server that they had was kind of just there to get information on anyone that they possibly could. In one of the shots, they were going to email some kid's school. Then there's another one where they were like messaging some other kid's mother on Facebook. And the weirdest of all of them, they even had someone's birth certificate in this server. Don't ask me why you would fucking need that, but yeah, apparently they had it. On the RDR Conspiracy YouTube channel, they do actually cover this. A couple of guys sat down and recorded a party with Grievous after these allegations went out. Now, the audio quality is fucking shite. I kinda tweaked it a little bit and it's a little bit more bearable now to listen to. Let's have a listen to what Grievous's response was to this doxing server getting out there.
This is not looking good.
No, I get why. Here's a couple things you should probably know. That's not my server, I'm not the owner. I was only in it. Also,
that server, how you were the one the highest up in there, right? Right, the highest people in there.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a Belenus thing.
So all your members were in there by chance.
Well, yeah, no, it was just those guys, those two, and well, yeah, I had to like them, or I did like them people. Oh god,
Okay.
The gagging, what's it called?
So it's nothing to do with Belenus. It just happened to be every. So what's going on with the doxing information? That's what we're pretty interested in.
So the thing is, it's like, I never personally put in any like, information. I put in two things. It was voice note, someone saying the N-word, and someone saying some weird shit to me. It was a minor. It was some shit like, oh, give me like Master of Intelligence, I'll be a good girl. And I just screenshotted it and put it in there, because that's weird as fuck.
Okay, but there is a screenshot of you saying, we have ways of getting...
And family Facebook accounts.
Yeah, but I didn't personally post any of that shit. And obviously, I was there. Yeah, I was there.
Anything they do, you kind of have to bear the responsibility.
Yeah,
you were the higher up. You were pretty much almost what? You were almost full command. You're higher up there.
Yeah. I did own Belenus, yeah.
Oh, so you did own Belenus?
I owned Belenus, but I didn't own that server, is what I'm saying.
So you have no connection to that server?
No, I was in it. I don't deny that. And
so you were in it. What was the purpose of it?
Yeah. The purpose of it?
Yeah,
I'm not like particularly sure. What was told to me, it was more like the shit gets put in here so that if anyone that is in there does try to dox someone, we can just say, you know, we've got a shot on you. You know, not particularly. I was like okay with that or whatever.
So it was mutual assured blackmail.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the best way to say it.
But you knew it was mutual assured blackmail, and you still hold on. So it was like a mutual assured blackmail situation, but you still willingly joined.
I was still in it. Yeah, I wouldn't deny, wouldn't lie. You know, I wasn't trying to hide anything.
Well, I mean, we can't really take anything right now because in this whole clusterfuck situation. So who created the server originally then?
Dell.
Dell? And what was his position within BE?
He was like PM, so he wasn't really like there. Really, he was like fairly inactive, but his whole thing was like external shit. So like,
the guy who ran the doxing server also handled all like diplomatic stuff as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he ever use this information?
Nah, I mean, one thing I know for sure, at least I know for sure, is to my knowledge, like, none of that shit was used.
You never, none of it was, like, or anything?
Not
gonna come out,
definitely not
like, no one's gonna release any screenshots of it, like, saying that, hey, I got threatened by these people with this stuff.
No, definitely not, at least not from me. And if it did happen from them, I had no idea.
It's tough to say you have no idea, but then you also be like, oh yeah, it's my crew.
Yeah,
then you're leader of all diplomatic affairs there.
You said this yourself. It's crazy. They're just mad we can gather public information.
Yes, it's we.
Yeah, at that point I was still in like the mindset like trying to fight or whatever, but like I shut down the like left the column and shit because. Well,
do you know? Can I ask why? Because you guys on top of your road, you just beat Vespasian. You just kicked Vespasian Kingdom and also
that's true. I was looking for someone to like replace me or whatever, like for a while, because I was just kind of getting bored.
Nothing to do with all the stuff coming out?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Like, I guess that is probably like pressure from it that made that happen faster, and like made it shut down. Because I probably would have looked for someone to
Yeah,
take
but if
over
it's not
Beat,
really a
that
big
didn't happen.
issue and that it was overplayed like you guys seem to be thinking it is, then it must.
I feel like
there's no reason to shut down.
I feel like we're escaping the point here a little bit. There's information of children there.
Yeah, like under
13, 14. Right?
And especially considering, the whole WE, children.
Sorry, wait, who was 13 or 14?
Like, there's information of underage people there, regardless. So I'm not sure how specific the age is. We haven't really found that out.
Well, I know like one person was 15, and that was Tunde.
So hold on, you knew about it and still in there?
Well, yeah, I mean, I already knew about Tunde.
Sorry, let me just try and get this really straight. So, you knew who it was, you also knew their age, and you also, at one point, defended it? Like you just said, because you just, separately, all those things, I'm just putting them together to try and get, like, a solid...
Yeah, I mean, I did defend at one point, obviously, I see now that defending it was retarded, like, I see now that, like, this could have been stopped if I just said, like, don't do any of this, but I didn't, so, I see how I fucked up there. And,
but you said it wasn't your server, so how could you control it unless you want to...
Yeah, no, exactly, but I could have asked, I mean, I didn't try.
So you didn't try at all to try to stop it, like, when you found out that they were, like, there's minus information there?
I didn't really take into, like, consideration, like, that they were minors, per se, like, it was more
What'd
like...
you view them as, then? Just what, like, people you
Well,
didn't like?
I know Tunde had, like, messaged someone's sister on Instagram, like, about Red Dead shit, and so, obviously, I didn't want that to happen, even though that wasn't me.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
22.
You're 22 and you care about what a 15-year-old does on a Red Dead enough to get personal information about him?
No, like...
Or at least being a server with that?
It wasn't me who got the information,
who was
I
it
see
then?
what you're saying, like, it was wrong. Like, there's video and stuff, it was Del who put that stuff in. I mean...
And you didn't tell Del to do this at all?
No.
Any other minors you knew about in there?
Well, I've not been in the server for a while. It was not off the top of my head, no. I don't know, to be honest.
You didn't leave when this whole situation started happening, did you?
I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest.
Well,
it's been in about a spin recently, because I do understand that shit is genuinely... That's fucked. Like, I'm not gonna, like...
Well, if you know it's fucked, why'd you,
Why did I do it in the first place? Fuck knows, honestly.
Well, not so much why'd you do it in the first place, yeah, but you had the ability to stop it. You said you were the leader of BE. Usually PM, and should you...
Like,
could have told me,
even
can't do it. Why didn't you kick him out of your crew when you found out about it? There's a whole server about this.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it was like, the way he explained it to me, it's like, that information will, like, never see the light of day, like, no one will ever, like...
It could is, though, because there's a whole bunch of screenshots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And that's just the stuff we know about. Like, what else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What else goes on that we
Do you
don't
still have
know?
a? Do you still have a link to that server?
A link to the server?
Or is that server deleted?
I mean, I could ask for one, but I don't even know if it still exists.
If you can get it, send it to us.
So,
along with, like,
there's
the
also a
BE
birth certificate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Vapors, so Vapors sent that to Dell.
How old is Vipers?
19. That's Books or whatever. I remember the person from, like, the Eagle videos or whatever.
Why'd he send that birth certificate? Was impression
I don't know.
to it, was it?
No, I don't believe she was. She was, like, fairly fucking...
They sent this birth certificate willingly?
Yeah, she was, like, fairly, like, obsessed with Bell. So, to my knowledge, it was sent willingly.
Well, I was gonna ask
you
the
need
BE
to ask
have
him.
a system where you guys, like, need, like, officers give information? Like, blackmail them or anything?
No.
There's nothing like that
I've never...
come out anytime soon.
No, I never, ever blackmailed or pressured anyone into anything.
Well, yeah, you could say you didn't, but you were the leader of a crew. You could just told someone else to do it. There's like nothing that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, I get that. But I never, like, told anyone to do it or told anyone to do it on my behalf.
Like, hang on a second. So you have this server. You collect people's information.
But I didn't.
And then
There I put two things in. I can send you things in if you want.
You're trying to explain to us right now that you wouldn't use this on people that may leave or whatever. It's like saying I have a weapon.
No, I was never.
And I won't use it.
As it was explained to me,
I have this
it
weapon
was.
in my hand.
As it was explained to me, it was like this is how it was explained to me, and this is why I said okay. Not even thinking about it that much. Not even thinking about like crazy it actually was. I guess.
My thing is, why would you collect so much of it? Because the whole point is saying we're only going to use it if it's used against us. Well, that right there shows that you're going to use it.
Yeah, even if a child tried to do something like that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I said, like,
Again,
like
though,
just said
it's
before,
like a
two wrongs cannot make a right.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm confused here. So you didn't like think you immediately banned Dell, or what the guy's name is, when you found out that he made a server?
No, I guess I didn't think that.
There was a post about
Why?
doing something similar, and then this, you know what I mean? So you must, surely you must have seen that.
And then also,
Did that set off like an alarm? Like, oh, what am I doing?
But then as soon
To be honest, I
saw
didn't
that,
even remember about that.
but then I saw your shutting down post, and you said if you're looking for a good crew to join IRB. You don't see how that and IRB just
I was
happened.
talking to like what's it
They have all
called,
this
CJ or
stuff.
whatever, and CJ was fairly chill with me or whatever. So I told him I'm shutting down you, and he was like, "Oh, you remember?"
So it had nothing to
or
do.
whatever.
Like you guys don't have any other connections or anything besides for that.
No, like we fought with each other. Like they've helped us in our radar crew, but like, other than that, no.
You gotta say how it looks. I mean, everyone says you guys are the WE successes, and all of a sudden it comes out you have a full doxing server with minus information in there.
No, I get it. It's awful. Yeah.
I guess what is that? I'm just gonna ask a question now. You don't have any connections to any current commandos at all, do you?
No,
the whole
absolutely
history, right? It's not like you're sending this information to them.
You said if I'm sending information to them.
Well, I'm saying though, like you have a dox server full of kids' information. The commandos are kind of with the pedo group.
Let me just try and comprehend this. So you're the leader of Belenus.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Okay. And then he creates a server. There's tons of random people's information, and you think, as you said before,
this is pretty cool.
This isn't, hold on.
No,
this isn't
I
going
think
to
it
reach
was
the light of
cool,
day.
whatever.
Hold on, Billy. This isn't going to reach the light of day. It doesn't necessarily matter. Was that it?
No.
That's
no,
really,
not
that's
that
a
way.
really interesting defense to use, in my opinion.
Hold on.
Like, that's what the Commando's horrible
Did
thing.
you not say that before? Like this, it's not going to reach the light of day.
No, like, as it was said to me, like, as it was explained to me is, like, yeah, I see what you mean by, like, me saying, like, I'll never see the light of day is, like, fucked. Which, yeah, I guess at the time I wasn't thinking about it.
And you,
I won't lie. Like, I see now that it's...
How long ago was this?
Discord?
How long ago was
yeah,
this?
when the server was made, or...
No, just like when this sort of thought process came up. Because, I mean, how long has this server been running? When did you join it?
I know that the server existed because I checked, like, when it was created. Like, I wasn't in it for, like, a while. Like, exact time, I don't know exact time, but I would probably estimate, like, maybe, like, a couple months I wasn't in it.
Or a couple months you weren't in it, and then, so it could have existed for about a month or a week or two before that?
Yeah, it could have existed for a month or two, even, before I knew about it.
Okay.
How come the Joker was in the server?
Joker was in Joker and Dell are good friends.
The Joker was the one that was in WE for a while, right? Like a higher up in WE.
Yeah.
Did he have any commando connections at all? Seemed like he was
No,
always there,
they all
active.
very much don't like him. As much as I'm trying to distance myself from those people right now, and like just kind of like move away from everything because it's done more harm than good.
There was a rumor that Joker walked into school one day and punched his girlfriend in the face, and the police got involved. Is that true?
I don't know all about it, but I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it, to be honest. When Belenus started, it was like all well and good, like it was all just good fun, and then as it went on, it just became, as you said, just more and more stress, more and more shit piling on, which is why I was looking to get out of it for a while. Like, I was just...
Did you almost feel like you built yourself into a corner where you kind of fucked?
Yeah.
So whose docs did you guys have on there? Because the server list we got shown as that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's almost like you tried to collect information on everybody you could.
Yeah.
No, I said like I wasn't.
Well, you keep saying, you weren't doing it.
Well, let me throw out a theory for you real quick. Okay, so you said Dell started the server.
Mm-hmm.
There's rumors the Commandos as a whole want to still be in the Red Dead community. Do you think?
I've got actual proof of that.
Right. Well, do you think Dell was working for the Commandos and the server was for the Commandos once they get right back into the community? And do you think they tried to ease you into it so you could be sort of something to an asset to them? You know what I mean? You've got a lot of people that could just slide right into the Milsom, and then all of a sudden you got 140 members. They had 140 members to boot, and all they had to do is get their leader to agree with them. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't have personally agreed with them, but I get what you're saying, but I don't know if that was the case or not. You know what I mean? It's hard to say.
From what I heard was, Western Empire disbanded, and then you took people and you made Belenus, and then you disavowed the Commandos. Of course.
Yeah, so when we left, I was planning on leaving and taking everyone with me for a while.
Right.
Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Okay, so. And then I also heard rumors that, well, I don't think it was supposed rumors, just sort of like how you did it, I suppose. You were in the Commandos inner circle to sort of get dirt on them, so when you disavowed them, you could, post some stuff and then sort of push themselves away from you. Were you a commando? Were you given a commando title?
Yeah.
What was the title? What was your commando? What?
NOX.
And that was sort of unofficial.
And at the time when I joined, I had joined with one of my friends, known as BP Charlie, but now he's Commando Nix. Gronk, who was Commando Kex.
Is Nick still there?
Yeah, and Val, who was Tribunal's son. Those were the 4 people I was invited to join with.
Well, I see Nox's gamer tag, Commando Nox. I see his gamer tag. I see who he's added to. He's added to Bane and some others.
The Commando Nox account, Joker made after I changed my name back to Grievous.
As a joke, so I see. Well, I saw Commando Nix. I've seen
Nix
Commando
is an actual account. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nox was my old one. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm looking here. I'm looking at the gamer tags. I see one gamer tag. It's of somebody who did Western Empire videos. It's got 5 gamer score, and the profile pic is of somebody who did, I think, 3 videos on Western Empire.
I'm thinking of what the account that you're talking about. I can't remember who made it. The specific person, no. But I remember it was we were playing Minecraft one night, and someone joined the party on that account.
Sorry, can I just say how much of an absolute win it really is to piss someone off so much that they make an Xbox account with a profile picture of my face? That's like an Xbox achievement in itself. I'm very proud of that.
I heard that there was 2 pedos in there, in Belenus. Do you know what that could even be from, or what these accusations are about? Because I literally heard these. I don't know what that's about.
Well, there's one thing that happened we didn't say out loud because the person who it happened to, we were fully prepared to expose what happened, but the person that it happened to said, "You really don't want that to be out there. This stays between us."
Yeah, it stays between us.
Okay.
There was someone called JWS in our group who'd been there since WE or whatever. He had a bit of a reputation to be talking to the older people in the crew, the older girls in the crew, Tina. But there was this time that I found out he's 17, 18, one of those 2, and I found out from not from her, the victim herself or from someone else. He sent a picture of his arsehole, and I just banned him straight out. She's 14 or 15. I got someone to talk to her about it, and then she said she really does not want that out. And I was like, all right.
He's gone. He was gone immediately. Immediately banned.
JWS was gone. Yeah.
And that was swept under the rug a little bit. It wasn't publicly a disownment. He was just kicked and nothing about it though.
In my mind, it was publicly disown him or whatever. It's people start asking questions.
Fucking people talk, yeah.
Yeah, and people will just waffle anything not really.
Did you tell any of your members anything that happened?
To want to leave. The only people who knew about it was the people I got to talk to people about it. So Joker and Dell.
The 2 people who were also in the Doxxing server, who actually ran the Doxxing server.
Yeah.
I think we asked you this question. We have a couple of reports from a couple of anonymous people saying that you try to get information, people are trying to get that information from BE and us. Directly on us. Any comment on that?
They were trying to get information from you?
No, on us.
No, they had information on us in the server.
No, I mean, to my knowledge, no, not even to my knowledge. I just know it's just not.
The way we heard it was structured in this server was essentially that people were raided. So there were, by the way, how many people were in here? How many people were in this, this Discord, how do I put this, how to properly word this? How many people sort of, on that list to be doxxed or, get doxxed and have their information posted there?
I guess some stuff on the list.
I'm not too sure. Like, what I know is, like, it wasn't all, like, docs and shit. Some of it was just, like, rumors. Some of it was just, like, screenshots of them saying dodgy shit. But obviously,
we also heard that they were rated. People were rated as either like an enemy or that they should be on like high alert or like, you know what I mean? Like they had like different ratings. Is that true? Like people were like, like an active enemy. Yeah, like one was like an active enemy. One was like, oh, they're not involved anymore. It doesn't matter. So those
I don't think so.
What's up with this S stuff? So
I think that S stuff is like the numbering system. So like. Well, like it isn't like a rating or anything, but it's just like the order in which they were created.
Okay, so S23. So there's
so that would have been like the 23rd made, yeah.
Yeah. So there's at least 23 different people here who have like a profile in the server.
Yeah, that's what that would have meant. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I'm more
you think the Commandos are trying to slide back into the Red Dead community?
Well, in that video I sent to you, Saxon was saying to me like that the Commandos do want to come back, or at least some of them.
I'm reading some of these things. These are like addresses. And, this is
a lot of personal information.
Some of these are different Commandos.
Yeah.
Sabre, Eagle, Twist.
Sunset. Like it was on anyone. I think what was explained to me was like if anyone tried to like do anything, like it was blackmail.
So that means there was pictures there to expose, essentially. The pictures of these people doing horrible things existed. That these are there to blackmail them.
Yeah, because as it was explained to me, it was just like for the safety of members. I was all up for that.
Do you know what those photos were for those people specifically?
Well, like I don't know what was in Sabre's. Sunset just had the shit that I sent to you guys back when it all happened.
Joker.
Is Sabre still with the Commandos, or Eagle or Twist with the Commandos?
I think Twist left. I don't know. I don't really keep up with it. You get me.
Okay, so let me just reassure, because like I said, I threw out the theory that Dell was still in the Commandos, and he was trying to ease you into sort of essentially being like a puppet for them. Do you think Dell could have worked with the Commandos and made this specifically for them? Or did he just made this for essentially Belenus?
I couldn't tell you his true intention. You get me?
I had a couple theories about Commandos, and I do believe you said you were in the Commandos sort of to get in there and then get dirt and then jump out of their thing. So you were, you even had a name.
I was fully in the server, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, we heard some things. I just want to run them by you, dude. Did they have a Facebook group?
They have a Facebook group, a WhatsApp group, Messenger. They're all really connected to IRL.
Well, we heard. That's what we heard. To join the Commandos, you have to give your real name or address or something.
I never gave them that or my address or anything like that. And I don't know if anyone else had that.
Do you think you were sort of on the outer rim of the Commandos?
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Commandos, they had
when I was
dedicated friends, and then
when I was brought in, I was brought in with 4 other people, me and 3 other people. It was me, Gronk, Tribunal, and Charlie. Charlie was a mate who I'd had since a year prior. He just fucks me so much. He decided to stay.
Yeah, I get it. That's horrible. That sucks.
But when I joined, I'll tell you everything about it, to be honest. So it was a couple of months away.
Where do you start?
It was a couple of months away and waiting for it to happen, and then one day it was just, alright, jump in session. You're gonna be made a Commando. I was alright.
Who actually jumped in so it was a ceremony on Red Dead to become a Commando?
Yeah. So it happened at the little gallows out the back of roads, a little platform thing. And the people there were Commando War, Commando Beast, Commando Bane, Commando Sabre, And then obviously odds who were like getting banned, and the Bane like says words like he basically like gives you your fucking wedding vows. Basically, you have to.
Yeah, well, it sounds like the Omerta code,
or like
the mafia.
He's like, do you like promise to uphold the values of the Commandos, and then you just say like, yeah. You know, there's a couple of things like that. They promise to follow the rules, and then basically he executes you, clips it, and then that's kind of accurate. You choose your name. You have a couple of weeks to change your gamer tag, and then once you change your gamer tag, you get in the server.
All of the servers, or just the Discord server? Or
the Discord server.
Yeah, they have a dedicated Commandos Discord server.
And it's like fucking filled of shit.
So they had a Commandos Discord with ex-Commandos in it, and how many people were in total on the server?
I don't particularly remember, but I think it was in the ballpark of like 38 or 40 maybe.
Of ex and, active
current
Commandos?
Ones, yeah.
Okay. And like I said, I believe there would be sort of like an inner ring of Commandos and an outer ring of Commandos. Do you think that's
agree. Yeah,
okay.
100% agree. So when I was brought in, I was like only able to see like the bare minimum or whatever.
They have different rankings?
Yeah, like they have like this weird like deck of cards thing.
And you could join, but you would really have to prove yourself to get to the more interview.
Yeah.
Especially when the degenerate stuff is happening.
Yeah.
And what were the rankings called, if you remember?
Yeah, so Bane called himself like 0 or whatever, and in the rules it was like you must obey 0. I was like Lord of Mercy. But they had like this deck of cards thing around like the sort of spades. So like the King of Spades was like Beast, the Ace of Spades was Bane.
That's a bit good.
Like the green thing. And it worked like that.
Okay, well, first of all, this reminds me almost exactly of the Omerta code of the Mafia, which I think is kind of cringe, not gonna lie. Second of all, this just looks like a cult. It just literally looks like a cult. Like,
I would agree. Like, when you were in there and stuff like the whole, like, joining process, like, there was something all, like, weird about it.
So, like, the Commandos meet in real life.
Yeah, the Commandos, like, meet up once a year.
And they hold positions of power, right? Like, one's a cop, one's a political manager.
Yep.
Man, isn't that ironic?
I've seen one on
politics
TV
mean pedophiles? You seen one on TV the other day.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Bane.
Bane was on TV just the other day.
Birthday celebrations, yeah.
Jesus Christ!
One of my friends told me about it, and I went and looked at it on like BBC iPlayer, and yeah, I saw him right there, clear as day. It was wild.
Okay. Would you be comfortable giving, like, what is Bane's name?
The thing is, like, if, like, something happens and, like, there's an investigation that comes back to me and I give you the name or whatever, like, he's a fucking political person.
If you think it's not worth it.
His name's
Okay.
And I was there for, like, the brief time I was trying to get shit. Like, I would get told nothing. I would get invited to none of their parties, but Charlie, who's next, would always be like, oh, they're inviting me to a party. And I was like, alright, cool. But yeah, it's for like what goes on in the inner circle. All I know really is like you get invited to like the WhatsApp group chat.
What's the origins of the Commandos? I heard they were in a Halo crew.
Yeah,
that's their original.
I actually read about this. They've got like a part in their Discord server about like how it happened. So like Bane wasn't always the leader. I think he's like the third leader or something.
Oh.
There's a guy called Commando Origin who like died from cancer or whatever, and another one, I can't remember his name, but like basically like they started on Halo, all sorts of shit. And then all I know, right, I don't know anything about it, but something happened on Halo, and like they all decided to leave.
Okay.
That weird.
Commando Origin, you said he passed due to cancer.
Sure.
How long ago was this? Because when I was...
He says when he was like 15.
So, about how long ago? Like 2022, 2023?
Oh, no, like...
A while ago.
Like, yeah, like 2015, something like that.
Okay. Are the majority of Commandos British?
Yeah. There's like one American that I can think of.
Do you know they were
invited to one of those things? No.
Did I ever go? No, God, no.
Did you ever get invited?
No. I wasn't even aware of any of it happened. Or if any happened or if any were planned in the time I was there, I was definitely not told about them. Yeah, I think they were pretty suspicious of me from the start.
So when Grievous mentioned about Bane being on TV, he was talking about something called Trooping the Colour, which is this like birthday ceremony that they have for Charles. He is not my king. And it just so happened that Bane was standing somewhere in line of sight of the camera. Millions of people turned up to this. Now, I would imagine, given the fact that we've already learned that he's part of the Tory political party in the UK, they probably had different stands with all the different political parties in the UK for government and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I can't actually watch this. It's on BBC iPlayer, but you can only watch it if you're from the UK or if you have a VPN. Now, there is a live stream on YouTube of this, but I don't think it covers it as much in detail as the official one on the BBC iPlayer one does. But I wasn't gonna waste my time playing Where is Waldo with Commando Bane. Okay, I couldn't care that much. Shortly after this, Grievous actually just disappears. Like, dips entirely. Instagram, Xbox, gone. And Belenus is kind of just left afloat and eventually dies off. But since it was only the officers of Western Empire that were the officers of Belenus for the Doxxing server, and they all dipped, they all disappeared, so now you just have a bunch of like innocent children that weren't involved with it in any way, shape, or form. So they went and started something called Apollo Empire. And I don't think it kicked off, I don't think it did too well for whatever reason. But then, out of the blue, I was messaged by this person called... Insert generic Viking name here. So this person is the second in command of the new Belenus Empire, but he had approached me with some more information about the Commandos. And you're not going to believe the second bit, but remember I mentioned Vespasian Kingdom earlier on. Vespasian Kingdom were the guys that got us into the session to fight Western Empire. Well, it turns out they're now buddy-buddy. Vespasian Kingdom and the Commandos from Western Empire formed a new group called the Imperial Volunteer Regiment. Now, this didn't last. This died relatively quickly as well, but it was led by Commando Nix. So eventually, I end up getting into a call with insert generic Viking name, and, you know, it's nothing crazy, but I thought I'd still include it just so you can see how this whole thing will wrap up, and pretty much the epilogue to this documentary. I think this is the first time we probably spoke.
It is, yeah. I haven't been too bad yourself.
I've been alright. I've just been busy with my last video and all that. I was just checking Instagram there. So are you now like the actual leader of Belenus Empire? Because I see they're on like a second generation.
I'm the second in command of Belenus. Our first in command is Snobby, was about fourth in command last generation.
So Grievous isn't in it anymore then, is he?
No.
I was just looking at it with the whole like Western Empire stuff, so it like separated from WE, but were you there when that like took place?
What, with like the opening of Belenus?
Yeah.
No, so at the time I was in Elhudz's crew, Odin. Prior to that I was in the Western Empire. I got kicked for some bullshit reason. I was like talking to Grievous, snubbing that, and they were saying, oh, we're going to make a new crew and we're going to betray, and eventually it happened, but coincidentally WE closed at the same time and Belenus came about.
Have you been keeping up to date then with that new group? I literally only just came across your Instagram account actually, and I think I saw you fighting them.
Oh yeah, so we had word that the Commandos were back. We didn't know how true it was, so we sent one of our people who were still like, I don't know, sort of in contact with the old Vespasian Kingdom members, because the Western Empire and the Vespasian Kingdom are like very, very close crews. So I think I sent you the member list, didn't I?
Yeah.
With I think it was Commando Nix in charge.
So they basically have just formed under one banner now, is it?
Yeah. I think it was called the Imperial Volunteer Regiment or something. So Commando Nix removed all of the Commando presence in the crew, supposedly. And I think they closed down maybe 2 or 3 days ago.
What's the thing now with Belenus? Like, since it's on its second generation, like, how did How did that come about? I haven't heard much from Belenus, to be honest, since it moved on from Western Empire. But then I've just been very busy, so I haven't really gotten.
So, what are you asking about the closure of first generation?
But yeah, I guess the closure of first gen and how second gen has like come about.
I'm actually not too sure what the closure of first generation was for, because I was only like the second in command of a division, so I didn't get told anything. They didn't even ask me to take the crew. But from what I've heard, it was either Grievous got tired or it was the massive. Apparently, Grievous and Del and that had like a massive Doxxing server. I'm not sure though. I didn't have a clue.
That's actually something I wanted to bring up with you as well. So you had no idea of this alleged Doxxing server then?
No, I was just like a little small officer in first gen. Really and truly, like after the first generation closed, I spoke to Del about it. I think it was Del, I'm not sure. And it was sort of like a build-up of things for people who were like alleged enemies of the Empire, and God knows what it was, but it was some really, really nasty shit. And yeah, they just used to post like photos and stuff in there of people. I think it was from their Instagrams or whatever. You saw the video, didn't you? They had someone's birth certificate in there.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That's just fucking...
I'm not in support of it at all. It's weird. Well, after the first generation closed, there was a little crew called Apollo's Republic, and I was like third or second in command of that. And quite frankly, it didn't do too well because everyone was still like overwhelmed that the first generation had shut, because everyone loved it there. It was a brilliant crew, I'm not gonna lie. Everyone had fun, and Apollo it didn't do as well. It was just incompetent because everyone wanted Belenus back. And eventually, me and Snub, we had a talk, and we thought it would be the best thing to do because people love the name, people love the uniform, they love coming to trainings, having fun, stuff like that.
I think
they
the
love
yellow's
doing
pretty
it under
cool.
our banner. Yeah, I do as well. It's because like, if we're at war, you just see a flood of yellow coming at you. You immediately know who it is.
I love that. Like, it was the same when I was doing Sons of War back in GTA 5. And it's like, you know, people would dress as bikers and they pull up to like a bike meet. But then, like, you just see all these fuckers in camo jackets just pulling up, and you knew exactly who they were before they even parked their bikes, you know? So, as I said, just a bunch of kids that used to be in Western Empire then decided to rebuild Belenus from the ground up without the original officers. To be fair, he seems like an okay kid, but calling a group that's been exposed for doxing Belenus 2 Electric Boogaloo is probably not the best way of going about it. Since then, I'm pretty sure they shut down like only a couple of days ago, so that's pretty much it. There's nothing else. From what I've gathered, the Commandos have tried to rebuild on Red Dead from time and time again, and they've just kept disappearing. The only place I could imagine you'll even come across a Commando is maybe on Arma Reforger, but besides that, I have nothing. This is where the story genuinely ends. The only other thing I can bring up, because there's a little game that's meant to be coming out towards the end of this year. You might have heard of it. I don't know if you have. You might have heard of it, right? And the chances are, when that online comes out, you're going to see massive different groups, from bikers to milsims to mafias to anything in between. I don't think we're going to see Western Empire in this next Rockstar game, but I have a feeling they'll try pull some similar shit. And that was why I really wanted to make this video, because this is more of a public message to the Rockstar community that these fuckers are around, and this is the type of shit they've gone up to. So if the Commandos or anyone associated with Western Empire try and build some sort of milsim on GTA 6, I swear to fucking God, if I hear on Grand Theft Auto 6 that any of the Commandos or the higher-ups of Western Empire start doxing people again, or start inappropriately texting minors again, I will pull every fucking string I have to make sure that you will consistently have bikers joining your game and hunting you down whenever you get into a public session in GTA 6. That's it. That's Western Empire. And this has been a documentary that I've been on and off really have wanted to do. It's been really hard to do it because I've always been kind of cautious of how I could present this, because there's so much, it was so much to cover that it was just so hard to tell people how much there really was to cover, but I'm so glad it's out of the way now. I have no plan of making multiple episodes on this or multiple videos. This is one and done. Unless these fuckers come back for Grand Theft Auto 6, this is the last you're going to hear from me about them. So anyway, look lads, thank you so much if you got this far in the documentary. It's something different, something I didn't expect to really do. And look, I really appreciate the support, okay? So, thank you all so much. Please avoid the Western Empire on Red Dead Online. Not because you fear them, but because they're fucking scumbags. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there. Good luck.
18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch. Big herd throbbing.
Dutch! Dutch, I got a meme to show you! We are opening our doors to any member. Micah, you cringy son of a bitch! Family struggling to remain within the Western Empire.
No, Dutch. Don't. These memes, they're cringe, Dutch. These memes are cringe.
I ask all of you to do your duty and stick the Emperor.
It's making me cringe, Dutch.
The Western Empire is your home.